What is going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well out there. Hope you're having fun. Today is going to be a banger. I hope you're doing well. I'm Andrew Esquire. This is the Legal Mindset, where we teach you to be your own judge. Guys, I am home today. I'm in my family home, so that's why it looks pretty ancient here with the, archaic, rooftop ventilator, the old rooster photo. I got my cowboy hat back there, my old drinking horn, some shit I mailed from Korea. So yeah, different location. Hopefully the internet holds up. I literally hope this holds up. It's a completely different setup than I normally have. I have a different light. I have a different monitor. Actually, though, this monitor today I have is fucking huge. It's my old desktop monitor, so it's like a TV size monitor. It's fucking awesome. So got this set up today. But regardless, guys, regardless of where I am in the world, whether I'm here in Miami or I'm in Korea or I'm traveling, maybe I'm in Europe, maybe I'm in Dubai, maybe I'm somewhere else in the world, I am committed to doing this morning show. It's AM Eastern time, right? Or, it's PM in Korea, it's PM in Australia, in New Zealand. I love my Aussies, I love my Kiwis, I love my people in Asia. So hopefully this looks good. Hopefully I sound good. So I'll tweak things a little bit, but I will be in this location for about the next 6-7 days. Then I'll be over to Texas for a little bit and then back to Korea. So, I'm the one who's always moving, shifting locations. So whenever I have a stream scheduled, you guys never know what background you're going to get. But it's good to see all of you here. And I love that you guys are here everywhere in the world. I see right now we've got Australia in the house. We've got Wisconsin in the house. We've got England in the house. We've got India in the house. We've got UK. We've got Netherlands. We've got Dallas. Let's see. We've got some Florida people in here. What's up to my Floridians? My Puerto Ricans, what's up? I'm going to get a good Puerto Rican haircut today. I miss the Puerto Rican haircuts when I'm in Asia, right? They don't cut it the same. They try to give me that BTS haircut, and I ain't about that K-pop life. We got the UK in the house and a lot of Amsterdam, right? We got a lot of Netherlands people in the house, Virginia, and one more Seattle. Okay, so what's up? Good to see all you guys in the chat. I really appreciate you guys coming through. Today is going to be a banger. I've got a lot of great memes for you. We've got great content. I'm going to talk about what this means about the jury decision. I'm going to talk about what's going to happen, which way this is going to come out. Everybody is shocked by yesterday. I didn't think there's one person who was like, yep, I called it at 100% and I knew. No, I was wrong. Like I said, 90% yesterday. I'm going to eat that. I'm going to own that, because when I say something, I own it. And I was damn well convinced it was going to be yesterday. That didn't happen. Now there's a theory out there, which I'm going to get to, which is crazy, but based on some new evidence I saw last night. There is some good, some good photographic evidence that I will talk about the jury and some potential, honestly, illegal activities that are going on involving the jury. There's a lot of shadiness going on around the jury, and we're going to get into it on this stream and this stream alone, because you guys know I don't hold back and I bring it to you completely unscripted. So Daniel says, back in the house, put a fat beat over that rant about everywhere you'll be in the world, and that's gangsta number one. What's up, Daniel? Good to see you. Speaking of men in cowboy hats, Daniel Chapman, always rocking the hat. My white colored hat I have in Korea, and my brown one is back there. I did for Halloween one year, I did Westworld. So I got a cowboy hat so I could do, I think it was Teddy from Westworld. That was like the first season, before it was super woke down the line. They ruin, big franchises. They ruin everything. I'm not even going to get into Star Wars right now, although I will be on Midnight's Edge today. I'll be on Midnight's Edge at noon Eastern time to about 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm really looking forward to that collaboration. I also have a collaboration in the PM, which will be controversial as always, but that's what I do. When I'm in the United States, I do collaborations as much as possible, because I'm only here for a certain period of time, and I'm only awake at these ungodly hours at a period of time. Venray says, mindset. You look like a baller at an ATL strip club. The kind that gets a private room without the $200 cover charge. You got nothing to worry about. Hey, Venray, appreciate that. Appreciate that so much. I do not mind the ATL strip clubs. The ATL strip clubs are actually a fucking spectacle. I'm just going to say that. And by the way, shout out to people who are coming in here. We got Scotland, we got Philippines, we got people all over the world today. We got Aussie. I mean, shit. That's great. It's just love to see you guys, and I love to see you guys are turning out because I'm going to keep this Asia time, man. And look, there's no tease today. I never tease. People say, Andrew, legal mindset, your thumbnails are clickbait. I go, no, bro. Listen, I always give the answer to the thumbnail. I never don't give it. Every single time I say, look, which way is it going? How is it going? I give a verdict. I give a prediction every single fucking time. Come at me. Chibi says, one smart move I'll give her, moving where she did, not a super expensive home, remote, good place to hide till the heat dies down. Okay, we are going to cover this, Chibi Peach, because I actually have a little bit of a different take on her home, right? We'll talk about that. But all right, let's jump into it, guys. As always, I like to start out with the memes because we always have, we have some issues in the world. We have some stress. We have some, some angst about the jury, some angst about the decision. But one thing we can do, one thing we can always take solace in is the memes. And let me just get these 2 super chats where we get that. Traveling all over. Be safe. Was waiting for the stream. Awesome. Appreciate that, brother. Daniel said, you did Westworld one year. Did you ask for $4 million the next year? Fucking Daniel, man. Daniel, man, you need to start your own show with these lines. You are just so fucking good. I really appreciate it, brother. All right. So let me show you some of these memes. They are fucking hilarious. These memes are great. Okay, so here's my second giant fucking monitor screen here. So you see, let me try to maximize this. There you go. So you got the Ninja Turtles, right? The Ninja Turtles. You got all of the cucks on board here. You've got Io, you've got Pennington, you've got the ex-boyfriend here who talked about the Elon Musk, Cara Delevingne three-way, right? And then you have the lead turd down here, the lead turd coming out of the sewer where she belongs, right? Straight out of the sewer where she belongs. So, guys, if you like memes, smash that like button because right now we've only got, 81 likes? Oh, no, 400 likes. What is this, amateur hour? Smash that fucking like button, guys. It really helps us in the chat here as we have almost 4,000 people on right now. Let's get at least 2,000 likes. Let's do it, guys. All right, next up here. Let me unmaximize this. So we got the next one here, which is Amber leaving the courtroom with no intention of paying $50 million. I love how she's got like the turd on her right here, or the vomit, whatever that is, the vomitus, But yeah, she doesn't have that money. She's broke as shit. She would need to get it from Daddy Elon. Let me point that out. She would need to go to Daddy Elon for that money. Okay, this one, as a nerd, this is hilarious to me because I used to play role-playing games back in the day. This was sent to me by somebody. This is fucking great. So let's break this down for a second. We got lawful good here. We got neutral good. So lawful good, Camille Vasquez, right? I would also say Ben Chu is lawful good. He's lawful good for sure. And then you got neutral good, Isaac Baruch. I agree with that. He's neutral good. He's just a good person in general. Then you've got chaotic good is Johnny. Johnny is a good person, but he's all the fuck over the place. You never know what he's going to do, right? Never know what he's going to do. The lawful neutral is the B. The B executed the fucking justice in this case. The B is the arbiter of justice, for sure. True neutral is the judge. I do agree with that. The judge should be true neutral. Chaotic neutral, Morgan Tremaine, a.k.a. TMZ Draco. Let us not forget TMZ Draco with his black nail polish. So fucking great. Great witness. 15 minutes of fame, baby. Lawful evil is Rottenborn. I would say that Elaine is also lawful evil, right? Elaine is lawful evil for sure. Neutral evil is Whitney. Chaotic evil, obviously, is the king demon, right? As all demons are. chaotic, evil Amber Turd. Amber Turd. So good stuff, guys. I love it. Max Rivera says, we love you long time, Mr. Andrew. Can't hang. Dinner. I appreciate it, nonetheless. Daniel, welcome to the membership. You have access to the emojis, the soju, the toilet, the cat girl, vampire girl, Andrew, Adam, all that good stuff. Also, if I try to see you in the chat and you're chatting and there's not a ton of super chats like today, I try to grab your comments. Just see what you're saying and pull that out in the chat when it's not like today, not crazy. But I do appreciate that. Venray says, got to throw some love to my second home, the Philippines. If anyone saw the 2005 Run of the Spirits, Anak ni Trapon, you'll have seen me as a kid. Humble brag. Oh, there you go. There you go. Nice humble brag. Fresh and Fit, dropping the 20. We're going to break this down on a crazy level tonight. Yes, he's spoiling the collab, but yes, I'll be back on Fresh and Fit. I was on Fresh and Fit before. I'll be on Fresh and Fit again tonight, talking about Amber Heard. It's the same topic I talked about last time, but it should be really interesting. Going to try to dual stream it, so it should be interesting. I've never done that before, so we will see how it goes. Also, oh yeah, Daniel, I got the Westworld comment. All right, so let's do it. Next, meme. There's a rumor going around that Amber Heard's lawyer, Elaine Bredehoff, is so incompetent that she contacted and hired Dr. David Spiegel to testify for Heard. Looney Spiegel is seen in the trial compared with Stanford University board-certified Spiegel. So there's literally a a board-certified Spiegel, right? There's a board-certified Spiegel here and a crazy Spiegel. So the rumor is they contacted the wrong one. The rumor is they contacted the wrong one. Fucking hilarious. Fucking hilarious. If this is true, Elaine Bredehoff is the most incompetent lawyer ever. I don't think this is true, though. I think this is just a meme, but this would be fucking hilarious. This would be fucking hilarious. Like really, really, really hilarious. Sweet Arts, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate that. Anton says Elaine is awful evil. She is fucking awful, guys, though. She really, though, no lie. She's fucking awful. She's fucking insane. Like no fucking lie. All right, next. All right, so I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is from Astra XLS. So good credit to them for this. But this is a video that's a rumor that a lot of you guys have thrown out there. I don't know if you guys have seen this. But here you go. This is that Elaine Bredehoff is secretly a fan of Johnny Depp. So here's Johnny Depp. This is like on a potato camera, guys. So sorry, this is the highest quality this goes. You can see this is 380p. Sorry, let me try to crank this up. Let's crank this bad boy up. So let's crank it up. Let's crank it up here. So let's see if we can get it in 720. Oh, who's that back there? Did you guys just catch that? Let me play one more time. Oh, hold on. There. Who's that? Who's that, guys? Hold on, let's play it through. Up. Who was that? Yep, that was 100% Elaine right there. That's Elaine. It's our girl right there. Guys, I absolutely believe that, by the way. I absolutely believe she was on the red carpet, that she's a fan of the stars. I mean, why did she take this trial, this specific trial? To be closer to Johnny. It's a deep fake? Okay, well, I would believe it. I would believe it could be a deep fake, right? That's fine. But it's a good theory. I think it's a funny theory, right? It's a funny theory. It's a funny theory. If it's Photoshop, yeah, it looks Photoshop. It could be. It doesn't, by the way, it wouldn't make any actual difference in the trial. Even if she was a Johnny Depp fan and taking photos of Johnny Depp, it wouldn't make any legal difference because you have a duty to represent your client regardless. So it really wouldn't change anything, honestly. People say, so anybody who said some people are saying it's a fake. Some people say it looks legit. Who knows? But listen, it doesn't really matter. It's just for the lulz, guys. Sometimes we do it for the lulz. And by the way, something that's not for the lulz is smashing that like button. Guys, we're almost at 70K subs. If you're not subbed, hopefully we earn it today. We're almost at 70K, guys. And if you like base shit like this, you like raw takes, and you like just hearing the facts without any filters or any bullshit, by the way, I will never and I'm going to say this right now. Let me swear right now. I will never, ever, ever file a copyright strike or claim on any single video, right? Maybe, yeah, well, not any single video, right? I won't do it. Just gonna say it right now. I'm not gonna file a strike or claim any video. You guys want to clip this? You guys want to meme this? You guys want to do whatever the fuck you want to do it, right? I don't give a shit, right? Literally zero fucks given. I saw one the other day that was hilarious. Somebody clipped my video and had one that was, and I love these commentary videos. I love people commenting on us because I like to see how we're doing. And when people comment on us, I like to see how we're doing. And you know what? Some people think, hey, you suck. Hey, fuck you. You know, that's fine. That's cool. That's feedback for me. What do people like? What people don't like? I like that shit. So you guys want to clip this? You want to take this information from my video? Do it. I encourage you to do it, right? In fact, go out there and create some funny, good shit. I love it, guys. I 100% love it. That being said, guys, let me see here if I caught up on all the chats. Oh yeah, Kelly Lee at a $7.99. Appreciate that, Kelly. Appreciate that. Once again, it helps us on a lot of these videos because let me tell you something. We are being censored and we are being demonetized. A lot of my videos, my last videos, have been demonetized by YouTube, and they don't give an explanation. They just say, "Oh, yeah, this one's not eligible. This one is not getting monetized at all." Right now, the super chats still come through; those always come through. But the ad revenue, all that other stuff, that's being censored on a lot of these topics, especially on my channel, because I say whatever the fuck I want to say, and I don't censor myself. I don't play by the rules, right? I just say what you guys are thinking. I try to say what you guys are already fucking thinking right now. So I had some people from Australia who reached out to me. Some people to help me with some Australian issues to cover legal issues down there, which I honestly really appreciate. And other people just taking screenshots of what the news is like down there in Australia because I don't know. I don't live in Australia. I don't live in Australia, so it's good for me to see little clips of what's going on in Australia. And I'm going to show you what somebody sent me. And if you guys live in the UK or Ireland or anywhere else, feel free to do the same thing and send this type of thing to me so I can show everybody. So somebody in Australia sent me this. And actually, they started with this one here, which is just a screenshot. You can see it's their phone. You can tell it's probably a girl because only girls live this fucking dangerously with uncharged phones. Shout out to you ladies out there. Get your shit together and charge your phones. I'm kidding. I love you. But seriously, this always makes me laugh when I see an uncharged phone, right? When somebody screenshots me and I'm like, this is living dangerously, guys. All right. So they're in Australia. They Googled on their phone Johnny Depp. So right here, this is what you get. Johnny Depp, American actor, jury deliberates, front and center. Big lie at the center of nasty Depp case. Now, I'm going to ignore the fact that center is spelled wrong. I'm going to ignore that, right? That's not relevant. I'm not going to judge them for spelling center wrong. But what I do judge is that all this shit is simping for Amber Heard. And you go back over here to this article here. And this is just another one from news.com/AU Australia, right? So inside Amber Heard's desert hideout after Johnny Depp trial agony. So right here it says, as her brutal trial against her ex-husband, Johnny Depp, nears an end, Amber Heard is set to seek solace in her sanctuary home. The Aquaman actress, who's been the butt of brutal jokes and death threats. By the way, I don't think any of those death threats are real. I think she's sending those to herself, frankly. I don't think anybody's threatening to kill her. That's ridiculous. And by the way, I don't condone that, but I think that's ridiculous to say, oh, I'm getting death threats. Get the fuck out of here, Amber. As the world watched her and her ex-husband, Johnny Depp, wage war during the disturbing defamation trial. Now she appears to be set to take solace in her home valued at $1 million in California's Yucca Valley. Amber Heard, 36, purchased the 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom desert oasis in 2019 for only $570,000 at the time under a private trust. Once again, people saying, okay, it's not that expensive of a home. Well, I'm sorry, but here's another factoid here. That's still more than most Americans make. That's still more than the average American home. Frankly, it is not a average American home price. It's above average. Now, is it a $10 million mansion? No, but is it above the average American? Yes. This is this would be an upper class home for $570,000. That's a lot of money. That is not cheap. And I guarantee you she bought it outright. She didn't mortgage it or pay for it, which is something that most people can't do, right? Which is something that most people can't do. And I'm sure that maybe Daddy Elon might have had something to do with this, right? Who knows? Who knows? Especially if it was purchased in 2019. I think Elon was still simping back then, or they were still on some level connected there. So yeah, I think this skew of the fact that she's had this brutal trial and it's all on her and she's got to run away and the jokes are violence and all this other crap. I mean, it's not just in the US, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. We're seeing this around the world, which is why this is a global trial, which is why I wake up in the morning to bring it to you people who aren't just in the United States. You guys are abroad. You guys are other places. I'm in Korea. I know that people are talking about this around the world. I was able to talk about this on my flight to the United States. People know about this shit. They know. And they care about it because it matters for victims everywhere. Men everywhere deserve support. Right? Men everywhere deserve to be believed, just like women deserve to be believed. Everybody should be believed. Everybody, in terms of investigating the crime, right? So I don't believe in, for example, believe all women in terms of what they say is true. I mean, investigate it. The police should investigate men's claims and female claims equally. So men and women should have the equal right to have their crimes investigated. My thing is investigate all crimes. That's the line. Investigate all crimes. Take it from believe to investigate. You have me. That's what's up. That's the good shit. All right, let me catch on these super chats, and then we're going to talk about Ben Chu's motion. I know some people covered it, but frankly, they let's just say they had a more light take. They had a more tame take. I'm not going to be that way at all with this motion from them. Venray says, who isn't a JD fan? Damon Barber of Fleet Street, Edward Scissorhands, Captain Jack Sparrow. JD appeals to all audiences. Beta, Alpha, Sigma, Simp. Yep, no matter who you are, there's a Johnny Depp for you, right? There's always a version of Johnny that you can identify with, and he's a great multifaceted actor. He's an amazing actor, and it seems like he's a generally good person who has some flaws, right? He has admittedly substance abuse issues, but that does not make you a horrible person. That does not make you a demon for having substance abuse issues. It is quite normal. And in fact, I think a lot of Americans can identify with having a substance abuse issue. That's quite common. So I think it's so disingenuous to demonize people because they've used drugs, and especially if they're trying to quit them. In fact, we should be supporting people trying to quit drugs, unlike Amber, who was literally sabotaging the man as he's trying to get off of drugs at a time at which, when he's pushed by Amber's narcissism, by her insanity, by her demonic attitude, I guarantee you, during that pain he was suffering from Amber, he wanted more than anything to use. And good on him for every moment he was able to resist. Because I guarantee you, it was hard for him dealing with that shrieking banshee. Kelly Lee says, I love your attitude. Thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate that. And Kelly, I certainly hope, like you and everybody else, that you guys stick around this channel afterwards. We're going to cover different topics. It won't always be Amber Heard. And I know that some people just care about Amber Heard. But I cover all the issues with the same attitude and the same just no bullshit that I cover this one at here. By the way, some people have mentioned here about what's going on with and some people have talked about the chat and everything else. My rule in the chat, because I saw beforehand, and I just want to make this very clear, is I try to maintain as much free speech as possible, but do not spam, do not say any no words, and that's good. So spamming equals saying the same thing over and over again. Don't do that, right? But other than those two things, spamming and any no words that get the channel yeeted, other than that, you're good, right? Makajawana says sometimes the memes are better than the original. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And I've seen some fucking hilarious meme videos during this trial, both of the trial and of LawTube. I've seen some hilarious videos of LawTube. I fucking love it. I love it. I die laughing at these things. Some of them I can't show here. I don't want to show here. I don't want to, get struck or, waste too much time here. But I love the fucking memes. I'm like the enjoyer, the man of culture when it comes to the memes. Let me make sure I got everything here because you guys are just ripping through tonight before we jump into this motion, because this motion is going to be juicy, guys. And I'm honest to you, I haven't heard anybody have a good take on it yet. it's just been really, really odd. All right, so I think I've got it here. So David had a check 100. Thank you so much for that, David. Appreciate that. Liz says, we Brits spell it center as a whole for poshness. Well, look, I actually like the Brit poshness. Like the poshness of Brits actually is it's kind of endearing in some ways. You know, it's kind of quaint, really. So I do enjoy it, right? Like armor and color. Like I actually enjoy the British spelling of those words because it's like, oh, look at that. That's like the thing we rebelled against. That's so cute. That's so antiquated. I love it. You know, it's like going to a Victorian era house. Venray says, thoughts on Eve Barlow's week. First, hashtag Eve Barlow is a joke, trends on Twitter. Then hashtag Eve Fartlow trends after her Twitter rant. She can't stop taking L's. Yeah, and my girl Radix said she had small boobs. So, I mean, she's just getting like roasted left and right? She's just getting absolutely destroyed. Eve Barlow is a joke. Eve Barlow was kicked out of the courtroom for a reason. She was kicked out of the courtroom for being disruptive and a fucking troll. So no one cares about Eve Barlow. She's going to go back to her freaking goblin den after this, and she's going to become irrelevant. This is the last gasp of an irrelevant woman. You see them as they are starting to become irrelevant, they lash out. That's the same behavior that Amber Heard took upon herself. As they're losing, they start to make more extreme statements. And when we talk about this motion, the motion that was denied, Ben Chu's motion, we're going to see how extreme they got. They're getting desperate, and that shows that they know they don't have a good case. They know the facts aren't on their side. They know the laws are on their side. That's why Eve Barlow is flailing. She's flailing to get support, and she's flailing to get support from people based on gender and based on hashtag Me Too. And I know some of you out there are new to this, you know, I don't want to call it that, but let's just call it the culture war, right? I'm just using that because there's no fucking better word for this. But there's some people like myself who are used to being called a racist, a misogynist, a bigot, a white nationalist, a whatever, a Russian bot, a Russian troll, like all the bad things, like whatever bad thing you can think of, an anti-Semite, whatever, despite the fact that I grew up in Miami, not one of my friends growing up. I mean, I literally had no non-white, like my only white friends were like Jewish or my family. I mean, it really is a place you grow up, and you really aren't a lot of like waspy people in Miami, Florida, right? That's not really a thing. But they ignore that. It doesn't matter. You're all the bad things as soon as you don't like the current thing, as soon as you object from the current thing. And right now, the current thing is Me Too, right? The current thing is Amber Heard because she by proxy is Me Too. And because you are rebelling against it, you, whether you're a guy or a girl, you are a male misogynist right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. The journalist is a well-known Me Too fanatic. Yep. And the thing is that it's gone too far. I get investigate all crimes. And there are some crimes that believe to be investigated, that need to be investigated. Epstein, right? Let's investigate Epstein. I'm all for it. I'm 100% for it. But saying we got to believe all women no matter what, this is getting crazy. This is getting desperate levels of crazy, like real desperate levels of crazy. All right. So Patricia says, me and men too. Yes, men too, 100%. Cheapy says there's no such thing as perfect. I absolutely agree. Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes flaws. Nobody is perfect, and nobody expects perfection. By the way, shout out to Germany. If it gets, I had a really funny conversation. I was in the airport in the Orlando, flying to Miami, and there was like a German woman behind the counter, and she's like, "Oh, I see you're a member. You can use your miles." And I was like, "Oh yeah, so good, so günstig." And she was so shocked that I knew German, you know, and like she's like, "Oh wow." And I'm like, my first girlfriend was Austrian. This is what happens, you know. You try to get laid and you learn a language. That's just what happens, guys. That's just life. It's just life. Daniel Chapman says, "I hope Amber's punishment is to walk the." Well, if you've been listening to my boy Tug, that umbrella guy, apparently she's lost her contracts. So apparently she is out of Aquaman now and forever. She's fucking scrubbed. She's done. And that is justice for Johnny. That is justice for Johnny. 100%. 100%. So I'm down for that. People are all bent over center. Center is French, period. In Poland, it's a huge topic too. Well, what's up, Evelina? Right? I've been to Poland so many times. I'm gonna shout out to my Polish people. Poles are fucking based as shit, by the way. Poles like do not. There's no political correctness in Poland. They just fucking say it. They're like, yeah, we're not taking any refugees right now, like, because we don't want that, right? They're just like whatever they want politically for their country, they just say it. They don't really script it, and I like that about Poles because they're very genuine. They're very genuine people. But I've had a great time. I've been to Warsaw, Krakow, Katowice, Wrocław, and Zakopane. I love Poland. I have good friends there. I've been to 2 Polish weddings. Fucking fantastic. I love Zbrojka, so I appreciate you giving me the perspective from Poland. It's a great place. I highly recommend people visit. It may have some legacies of the Cold War, but the people to me have been nothing but kind. And all I evaluate is people who are kind to me. And I think for you guys, that's my suggestion is you should evaluate people based on how they treat you, right? Individually, right? Rather than any other way. So let me catch up on a couple of these. Matt says, I honestly cannot comprehend how the jury could take Amber and her team seriously. It actually blows my mind. Yeah, it kind of blows my mind too, because I really don't know how you can take her as spitting facts when she spits so many lies here, like so many lies. But hey, they have to make their case. They have to make their case. That's part of what lawyers do. Miss King says, Amber's continuous substance abuse problem, but Johnny is the one with the problem. She's a joke. 100% agree. RC Bandit says, the Florida mindset is bad. The Seoul mindset is good. Jokes aside, keep doing what you're doing. All right, anytime, man. I'll be back in Seoul in 2 weeks, guys. Don't worry. I live in Korea now. I'm not in America. So I believe in, kind of that's the ultimate freedom is the ability to, when I want to, go to Seoul, go to Florida, go to other countries, whenever the fuck I want. To me, that's the ultimate freedom personally. So my personal goal is to have that personal level of freedom. That's my choice. Galloway says, you got my last super chat of the week. Keep up the good work. Galloway, I promise you, I will not be cucked. We will keep the good work going 100%. There's 0 Jack Murphys in this stream. Since the jury is on the first section of the instructions, does that mean they're almost done? Okay, sweethearts, I'm going to go into the jury after I talk about the motion. So first I'm going to talk about the motion, then the jury. So those people who are waiting for me to talk about the jury, I will do it right after the motion. So do motion, jury, and then we'll talk about the ACLU because a lot of you guys are asking about the ACLU. Lethal says, get to the T. Oh, don't worry, Lethal. The T is coming. Hashtag Eve Troll Law. What's up, Mexican Iron Man? Thank you. Mexican Iron Man got me on Midnight's Edge. I'll be on Midnight's Edge at noon Eastern today, noon Eastern American time, which is late as fuck for you guys who are abroad. I'm sorry, but you can catch the replay if you want. Matt Oxley says, I honestly cannot comprehend how the jury could take Amber to team seriously. It actually blows my mind. Got that one. Sorry, but that one I 100% agree with. Sleepless in Scotland says, total shame when I found out Eve. Yes, Eve is fucking Scottish. I'm sorry, guys. She's a shame to your country, right? Shame to your country. Ian Veggie says, what happened to the witness Eve got kicked out? She was acting a fool in the courtroom and making a scene. So, yeah, they kicked her ass out real early. Like, I think the first or second day of trial. Like, I think it was the second day of trial. Chat, correct me on that. I don't know when it was, but I know it was early as fuck in the trial. Sophia says, New Zealand's media is coming around to JD. Look up New Zealand Herald. Even Barlow seems to be atop the Amber Heard burn pile. Where will her pro-Heard 209 tweets be then? Yes, thank you, Arch, for your content. Love your streams. Yeah, all these content creators are going to delete their tweets. They're going to go into hiding. They're going to shut the fuck up as soon as Johnny wins. Like, if Johnny wins, they will shut up. They will go into their hole. If Amber wins, they will have their moment of gloating. Right? They will have their moment of gloating. Dad says, thank you for the 20, I believe that's Philippine pesos, right? So I appreciate that. Every single little bit matters to me, guys. I always care about it. And it always helps this channel, especially since we get demonetized. Jason says, the only time Amber Heard simps don't hear her is when she is caught on audio recordings being abusive. What sound-minded person can tune out the truth? Nobody. Does Johnny cleaning the bed count as swabbing the poop deck? Fucking good. That's good. Jeff, I'm sorry. That's so good. That's so good. Lena in Love says, Arctic Norway, checking in. Love your timing. Absolutely. I do it for you international people because the world does not revolve. I mean, this is a U.S. case, right? But the world doesn't revolve on the U.S. And there's a lot of you guys out there who care about this, and it affects countries other than the U.S. This is not just a U.S. issue. In Mexico, are they called Locomotion? Was quite a big song here in Australia. Oh God. Oh God. And thank you for I guess the that's Turkish lira 10. So appreciate that. Sheldon says, Mr. Mindset. I read some of E. Barlow's tweets. I get fans that are loyal, but shouldn't the facts speak volumes? The question is Eve Barlow Miss Amber Heard's flying monkey? I mean, there's loyalty and stupid loyalty. She is a monkey. She is a flying monkey from the Wizard of Oz. That is not a racial joke. That is a Wizard of Oz joke. That being said, guys, what's not a joke is this motion which was denied. So let me pull up this motion here. This is the motion. I'll blow it up a little bit for you guys so you see a little bit better. We're not going to go through the whole thing, but we are going to focus on the substance of the argument. I'm going to give you the meat of this argument and how I feel about it. So this was filed by Ben Chu. So they make the motion for two reasons. First, to strike defendants. And by the way, this is straight off the Fairfax County website. You can see in the URL, fairfaxcounty.gov, right? I am ripping this from the court website. I literally always recommend that you guys do it raw. And what I mean is you get the raw documents, the original documents from the court website, not the filtered ones, not the exposition. Always go raw, guys. In court. Only in court. Get your minds out of the gutter. All right, so they're moving to strike defendant, that's Amber Heard's, inappropriate argument made during closing argument on May 27, 2022, and instruct the jury to disregard the inappropriate argument and revise the special verdict form with respect to Johnny Depp's affirmative claims against Ms. Heard to conform to the language adopted by the court in the jury instructions. So the court should provide a curative jury instruction. So during closing arguments, counsel for Ms. Heard told the jury that the decision in their case would send a message to every victim of domestic abuse everywhere. Okay, full stop. Full stop. This is what they said during the closing. This is wildly inappropriate for a closing. You are not supposed to make broad societal issues and bring those into court. A court decision is supposed to be made on the facts, not based on your politics. Elaine literally was calling for this to be a political decision. This is complete bullshit. This is complete crap. This is exactly the type of injustice and failure of due process and liberty that we should prohibit from the court. It is disgusting that she made that comment. She should be reported to the bar for that, right? Hopefully the bar would sanction her for that. They usually don't. But hey, if another lawyer reports her to the bar, I wouldn't complain. Let's say Ben Chu did it or Camille did it. That would be fine. I would be 100% behind that. Fuck that statement. And by the way, every victim of domestic abuse, how about Johnny Depp, motherfuckers, right? Johnny Depp is an abuse. How about the male victims? How about the male victims? What does this send? What message does this send to every male victim of domestic abuse? What she's really saying is every female victim, right? Or, I'm sorry, every female hoaxer. Because every single hoaxer will be able to bring false claims in court in the United States, make false statements. You can just freely perjure. You can freely talk about anything. You can make shit up. You can say you were attacked with a handle of vodka. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's preposterous. It's so disgusting to make this into a social issue when this is not supposed to be at all a social issue. It's supposed to be about that. And once again, people say, oh, you guys are making it political. No, this is their argument. This is Amber Heard making it into a leftist argument. And it's not us. I don't want this to be a political issue. This should not be a gender issue. It should not be a political issue. They're making it into one. This is what they want for their agenda and their timelines and their stories. We've covered these stories in Vox, in Vogue, in Vice. By the way, why are all the V periodicals absolute dog shit? I just realized that Vice, Vogue, and Vox, all of them are complete dog shit. Complete dog shit. I mean, I didn't even think about that till now, but they're just the V's are very shit. Very shit. So here you go. Let's continue. Counsel for Ms. Heard stated that a ruling against Amber here sends a message that no matter what you do as an abuse victim, you always have to do more. What? That's fucking ridiculous. No matter what you document, you always have to document more. There was nothing documented. Literally, Amber Heard didn't document any of her injuries. This is a complete unsupported by the facts argument. It's complete garbage. It's complete fucking garbage. Insane. No matter whom you tell, you will always have to tell more people. No, she didn't tell people about the incidents that she alleged. The sexual violence was told to nobody. And half of her stories about actual abuse, nobody else repeated. And even the stories where they were there, they all had a different story. So this is crazy. No matter how honest you are about your own perfections and shortcomings in a relationship, you always have to be perfect in order for people to believe you. Let's start with the first part. Amber Heard was a complete fucking liar about her ability in this. She didn't take any responsibility. I never heard for one fucking second her making, I didn't hear 1 second her admitting to any culpability or liability here. None at all. None at all. Guys, this is insane. She never took responsibility. So what are you saying? How honest you are. She's never admitted it through her whole testimony. I didn't catch it. Did you guys catch it? One thing she did wrong. Except for maybe saying, oh, well, I loved him too much. Oh, well, I didn't report it because I loved him. Her only fault is loving him, is caring about him, right? Fuck that. That's some bullshit. Next, she says, you have to be perfect. No one's expecting perfection. In fact, you guys, your whole case is based on Johnny Depp not being perfect, about him doing drugs. He's not a perfect fucking person. He definitely made some mistakes. He also shouldn't have sent those tweets. Or sorry, the text messages that were really like they were misinterpreted. Yeah, he shouldn't have sent those. I get that. He's not perfect, right? He shouldn't have sent those. But which one of you guys has no text you regret? I have texts I regret sending, right? I have texts I regret sending. I have messages I regret sending. Everybody has something they regret sending. Let's be fucking honest here. Let's be honest here. And just say, hey, you fucked up, right? Say, hey, I fucked up. Johnny's done it. Johnny has admitted. I think Johnny has been very contrite. He said, I did it. I didn't mean to do it. It was something I did in the time. And you feel it in the way Johnny speaks. You absolutely do not feel it in Amber at all. So this is what they say here. Don't send that message. That's what Mr. Depp wants you to send. Literally calling for an improper verdict. Calling for an improper verdict. Fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. So they wanted curative instruction here. So here you go. So the remarks made by Ms. Heard's counsel to improperly invite the jury to focus on a larger social objective beyond the case are impermissible. They cite all this case law. This is all case law that backs us up. You can't send a message to the community right here. You can't say, oh, we're doing this for the community. No. Indeed, an attorney must not ask a jury to send a message to anyone. Juries are not in the message sending business. Their sole duty is to return a verdict based on the facts before them. Urging a jury to send a message is impermissible because it implies there's a reason to find the defendant guilty other than what the evidence has to show. Such argument by Heard's counsel improperly invites the jury to decide on the case based on passion and prejudice, and a specific jury instruction is necessary to cure. So they want a jury instruction to mitigate that, to cure that, right? And they also want to correct the jury form. They want to correct it to say at this part here where it says the statement was false, to correct it to say Mr. Depp's statement of false. Now this second part, the second count, it's more minor. I don't think this really makes a huge difference here. I mean, there is that autistic juror, which we're going to get to, but I don't think that's a major point here. But this right here, let me just tell you guys right now, truly believe that this should have been granted. This should have been granted. This type of behavior from Amber's counsel is inappropriate. It's inappropriate. This is a great argument. It is well supported by case law. So I believe this first count here, this first point, should have been granted. The judge did refuse it. They refused it, so it's out. Now, here's my caveat, guys. Here's my caveat. I'm going to talk about the caveat is, despite the fact that it's been denied, denying may be good for Johnny. You know why? Here's why. If they actually had to do this, like in practice, so in legal theory, this should have been granted. So legally, but I am not a fucking law nerd channel that's just like, oh, it's all about the fucking law and the law is all that matters. No, practical reality matters. Like on this channel, facts and reality matter. Not your feelings, not, oh, well, the law should have been that way and therefore did not. No, here's the reality. Here's keeping it fucking 100. if you remind somebody of something, it's going to dredge it up. So even if you bring them back here and you remind them, oh, hey, this is improper, she shouldn't have made this, you're kind of having to repeat it again. So practically, you're having to repeat the issues again. And by repeating again, you're putting it in their brain again. You're reading it again, even though you're telling them, don't pay attention to it. In human minds, we have a trouble with don't. So for example, for the human mind, it's easier to process be safe or drive safe than don't crash. Because if you process don't crash, you're really thinking about crash. Your mind doesn't focus on the don't as much as it does on the crash. So really just try to focus whenever you're thinking about something on the positive. So like be safe, drive safe is better than don't crash. That's just a mental thing. So don't pay attention to it. You're really hearing pay attention to it. So I think it's fine it didn't come in. But speaking about things that sometimes do not come in and about autism, what's up, Christina? How you doing?
And about autism. It's true.
Yeah, what's up? So, hey, I'm glad you came in because I wanted to talk about this juror, and like this is the next topic I want to talk about was this juror and my kind of like autistic theory here of why we didn't get a thing here. So have you ever been diagnosed with like or on the spectrum?
I have not been diagnosed, but I'm self-diagnosed.
Self-diagnosed, because you were admitting it yesterday. You were owning that shit. You're like, shout out to my brother out there. You know, my guy taking notes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious when somebody's on the spectrum.
Hey, listen, I give you the ability to self-identify, right? Like you can tell me your gender and tell me your where you're at on the spectrum, right? I allow it. So, but you were in the courtroom, and a lot of people's, a lot of people I've had them ask recently, they've forgotten that you were in the courtdown too, right? And I'm like, well, like, oh, why do you have Christina on? I'm like, she was in the courtroom, guys. She was like covering
and because I'm cool.
Okay. That aside. But when you were in the courtroom, you saw the guy taking like copious notes, right? Can you talk a little bit about that guy taking copious notes without doxing him?
Yeah, without doxing him. That's the Asian guy who's pretty young, probably under 30. Although it's hard to tell because Asians look young sometimes. They can be
racist.
But yeah, he's sort of like very nerdy in his dress, and with the way that his demeanor, like you can tell this is somebody that's definitely on the spectrum. You know, people on the spectrum can recognize it in others. But yeah, he was taking notes the entire time. Yeah.
By the way, I love Star Story. It says, legal mindset, I have autism. You're not permission to use free time. Use your arm past wisely. I don't use it liberally because of YouTube. Right.
Yes.
But the point is that we talked about this yesterday. Like autism has negatives, but there's positives to it too, right? There's the thing is it's a social, like it's a genetic variation which has drawbacks and benefits, right? Like albinism, like albinos, right? Mm-hmm. There's certain benefits to being an albino, right? In certain climates and certain places, right? There's benefits to being an albino, right? But there's obviously clear drawbacks. Yes. To being an albino. Same thing with autism, right? It's the same thing with humans, the spectrum of humanity, right? So when I say it, it's not as a slur or a negative thing. It's just stating a fact, right? Like this person has it, therefore they're going to be looking at some shit, right? They're going to be looking at some details that you and we just gloss over. Like I might just gloss over a fact, but somebody else will drill it. We'll just drill it and not let it go.
Yes, exactly. And he dresses like kind of like a nerd, you know, like the high-waisted pants with the shirt tucked in and glasses. Yeah.
So let me point this out too, is that I'm gonna be very careful about what I say here. Very, very fucking careful. But I have had a couple of you, including people I know and trust, send me links to let's say some of the chans, right? If you know what that is, you know what the websites are.
You grew up on Paul.
I don't need to explain anything, but there are pictures of the jury online, right?
What?
They have been leaked out there. Now, I am not linking them. I'm not supporting that. I'm just saying they're out there and they were sent to me. I will not propagate them. I will not push them. I deleted the things have been deleted. I've purged it, but yeah, they're out there. So
how did that happen?
It happened because people are crazy about this and people
Oh
are
dear
reckless and
God.
they're ignoring the judge's orders. They're ignoring anonymity. They are out there. And I will also say that there's a member of LawTube that was also received a photo of the jury as well. Now, they did not put it out there. I'm not saying who they are. I'm just saying they're part of the LawTube commune. They're on the commune side of LawTube, if you guys know what I mean. Not on the Liberty side. But yeah, they've received a picture as well. So I
Oh my goodness. That almost seems
yeah.
like an intimidation thing. Because this is before a verdict comes out and like they're getting doxxed. I don't know. That just seems kind of shady to me. It seems a little suspicious.
So based on that, and I'm not going to say any more on that. It's just it is what it is. I didn't take the photos. I didn't have responsibility. I didn't have any agency. I
Right.
didn't have any control over it. Right. But the one juror that you're talking about, the photos with his dress and his style and his mannerisms lines up with that description. That's all I'm going to say. Like, it's just, it very much lines up. Just like looking at the guy, you're like, yep.
That's him.
That's the guy.
That's who Christina's talking about.
That's the guy. Like, it's very fucking clear. So here's my point. I gave a prediction that a 90% prediction of yesterday, but I didn't factor in that guy. And I think that guy is like an X factor. He's like a non-normal factor. And clearly, if he's controlling the jury a little bit more, right? If they're allowing him to go down these rabbit holes, they're not kind of shutting him down, then it might make sense for this to be delayed till today. I really was convinced they could have handled it yesterday, but I was assuming it was 7, frankly, normal non-spectrum jurors. Throwing in that one guy and him wanting to go into every single detail gives a window into why Johnny didn't recover. Now, I stand by the fact that the longer this goes, the worse it is for anybody recovering, Johnny or Amber.
Yes.
Right? So the longer it goes, the more it goes towards nobody recovers. It's just a no recovery situation, right? Nobody wins either claim, right? That's more likely as the time goes on. But for Johnny to win, I think the autism theory, right? And you can quote me on it. You can say legal mindsets autism theory right here. You heard it here on this channel, the TISM theory, that this guy was the one that submitted the question. Remember, there was a question yesterday.
Yes.
There was a jury question, and that question was fucking specific.
Yeah,
it was it was like this question. Like, well, so do you remember the question, Christina, or do you want me to say?
No, go ahead if you know it.
Okay, the question was about the specific sexual violence claim. Do we need to look at the whole op-ed or just the headline?
Yeah, that sounds like something.
That's a TISM right there, guys.
Yeah,
that's a TISM. I mean, I think
going into these little like spurgy details.
Yep. And it's very logical. It's very analytical. And I'm not saying it's wrong at all. It's detail oriented, right? It's great. I mean, but it explains why he's thinking about things slower than maybe a normal, regular, average Joe would think about things, right?
Yeah.
And if he's on the side of, he may be on the side of Johnny, he just wants to go through everything to make sure.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's a valid theory as to why it's delayed. I think that today it's very possible that we could get a decision. I think it's very possible it could still come out today in Johnny's favor. And I think it's even possible, frankly, that it could carry the next day if the guy is hammering down on this and then hammering down on damages. It's possible. Now, I would love to see it today. May not happen.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that it would be tomorrow afternoon after they had lunch, kind of right before the end of the day. And I was so surprised. I'm like, oh man.
Yep. I think a lot of people were shocked. I know like Raketa's panel was shocked about it. I know a lot of other people were shocked about it. I know some of the people say Emily D. Baker said it could take 3 to 6 days. Sure, it can take a week, right? I mean, theoretically, it can take a fucking month, but I don't think the judge is going to let it go on that long, number one, before declaring it a hung jury. I don't think they're going to give it more. I think 6 days would be generous. I think allowing this thing to go past Friday would be very generous for this judge, especially this judge is very punctual. So yes, very, very interesting there. So that's my take on that. So you think that theory holds up, Christina? How do you like that the TISM theory?
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. He was going through like all these legal pads of notes. So he probably has tons of stuff that he wrote down, probably more than any other member of the jury. and he probably wrote down like a lot of details that maybe he wants to verify everything. Because I'm thinking about the other people, and I don't remember anybody else taking notes like that the way that guy did.
Yeah. And by the way, let me just do this here, because I don't want, I mean, once again, I'm not intending to offend anybody here, especially if you have somebody in your head. You says, you mean neurotypical? As a person with autism and a mom of autistic kids, I understand your thinking. It's definitely not slower, more overthought. Yeah.
Yes.
But thinking, so what I mean is thinking about something carefully takes more time, i.e. slower. I'm not saying they are slower. I'm saying their process is less rapid, right? That's slower. So let's be very clear about that and what I'm saying here. I don't want anybody to misinterpret what I'm saying here as being negative. It can, in fact, be a quite positive thing. In fact, this could be quite positive for Depp, because somebody who's paying attention carefully is noted all of fucking Amber Heard's lies, because she has lied and lied and lied and lied and lied. And someone who is tuned in may have caught all of those lies.
Yep. All the inconsistencies and the, people that are on the spectrum tend to be, more analytical in their thinking and less emotionally less able to be emotionally manipulated.
So what you're saying is they're not Amber Heard.
Exactly.
All right, let me jump over. I see these super chats rolling in, so we're going to jump over. I'm going to catch this batch of super chats, and then we're going to talk about the ACLU, everyone's favorite woke organization. So the Quantico Man says, for a yellow super chat, 999 says, how big was Kate Moss's testimony for Team Depp? I'll throw this one to you, Christina. How well do you think Kate Moss did to you as a layperson, as a normie? How well did you take Kate Moss's testimony?
I think she did pretty well. And with Kate Moss, I mean, she's so classy, and everybody knows who Kate Moss is. I mean, let's be honest. And her story, it was like the exact opposite of how Amber portrayed it, of Johnny pushing her down the stairs in a fit of jealous rage or something. She's like, no, actually, we're on this nice vacation. She falls. He comes to her aid because she's in pain. She's crying out. He picks her up. He carries her. He tends to her. I think that went very well for him. And her lawyers did not have the nerve to say one thing to Kate Moss. Mm-hmm. They knew better.
They knew they would get in deep shit.
Yeah.
They would literally walk into something they couldn't handle, right?
Yes.
Because frankly, they weren't prepared for it, right? They weren't prepared for what was going on. They weren't prepared for dealing with Moss, and they knew that Amber Heard lied. She straight up lied. I mean, there was no way to get around that. Amber Heard misrepresented that.
Yeah, what could you say? What are her lawyers going to say to Kate Moss? She did straight up lie about that, and it's embarrassing. I feel bad for her lawyers in a way. I don't know if you saw this, but there was some video going around that showed Amber. You know how she like pretends to be taking notes and stuff?
Yeah.
They had this video where they zoomed in.
Blank.
Her pen is not even touching the pad, but she's pretending to be writing, and the lawyer sitting behind her is like,
psycho shit.
What is she doing? Her own lawyers looking at her like, what? What in the hell?
You guys are crazy. Like, it's absolutely crazy. And what's crazy right now, guys, let me just say what's crazy. We only have 2,800 likes right now. So please smash that like button, guys.
What are you guys waiting for?
We have 15,000 people in the chat, guys. Let's get to like 7K, right? You guys can do that. You guys can do that for me. And by the way, King Roman, appreciate the super sticker. That every little bit does help. But thank you, guys. And also appreciate, if you want to follow me, I've got locals. Also, everything gets copied over to Odyssey, so you can follow me on Odyssey as well. Nice. And on Twitter, all the other places to follow me. So get that out there. But guys, listen, smashing it like you will not smash Amber Heard. All right. Miss King says, yes, shout out to us opening our mind and becoming worldly. Yes, absolutely. And frankly, I try to take things from a perspective of, these issues are human issues, right? They're not issues that are uniquely affecting people in one country, right? Humanity is struggling with these issues and how we address them going forward. And how we deal with men and problems that men have in society, that's a big fucking deal. That's 50% of the population of this earth. If we're saying that we're going to shit on men and we're not going to investigate their crimes, we're not going to take them seriously, we're going to allow them to be abused, that is not a good sign for society in the future. Let's just say it doesn't look good if we're going to say that men are the underclass, are the Untermensch of this society. That's not going to be great, right? At all.
Exactly.
Chunky Monkey says, "Stop it. That's offensive to monkeys." To call Eve Barlow a flying monkey. Yes. Sorry, Chunky Monkey. Chunky Monkey, I did not mean to offend your people. Your great and proud bonobo people are strong. You are resilient. Defend your bonobo island. I respect you. I respect you and all the amber turds you fling at each other. Siddharth Patro said, "Getting my mega pint ready to celebrate Johnny's win, hopefully." Yeah, if Johnny wins, I'll be drinking some mojitos down here in Miami. There is nothing heteroflexible about that when you're down in Miami to have a good mojito. Tegan says, "I can't believe anyone in America takes perjury seriously after watching Amber Turd lie over and over again on the sand. As I said, it's a toothless tiger. At least in Australia, we're investigating her for it." Yeah, and Tegan, I'm going to have a stream. I may end up bumping it one day. I may end up seeing if I can bump it to Friday. I'm supposed to have one tomorrow with an Australian lawyer, but I may bump it because if this trial is still going on or whatever's the fallout, like I want to cover that and then get to the perjury trial. So I may bump it to Friday. But I am going to be talking about that. And honestly, shout out to Australia for coming at her with perjury, right? I think that's a great move on their part, and we can learn from Australia on that. I think we should take perjury seriously. I think we should investigate people for it. If we're not going to do it, then it's kind of arbitrary, right? When do we do it? Ditzy says, "Raw, on paper, unbreaded."
Yes.
Rosalie Roos says, "It was Rotten that made that statement." Okay, well, between Rotten and Elaine, as the chart established, they're both lawfully evil. So they're both wrong in that case. So yeah. Sorry about the confusion between Elaine and Rottenborn, but they're both equally no bueno. Cartel says, "I'm recommend reevaluating your, if someone is nice to you, then they are a great person advice. Old college friend was a great guy to me, but tried to poison his girlfriend when she broke up with him." Holy shit.
What?
Holy shit.
That's an Amber Heard move.
Yeah, but okay, here's the thing, bud. If somebody has committed a fucking crime, like, I think that's a purpose of like reevaluating, right? Like, there's a certain point at which you're like, hey, maybe I need to reevaluate Dahmer. Maybe he was a good neighbor, but I need to reevaluate him. Okay, I will say it's not an absolute statement. There's always exceptions, right? But in general, I try to treat people how they treat me. But yes, if someone is a fucking serial killer or they're out there trying to poison people, they're poisoning their Tinder dates, yeah, that should definitely be cause for reevaluation of your perception of that person. Lisa B says, "I'm 36. Okay, you're about my age, Radix is about in that hood too. Diagnosed BPD at 17. And even I think Amber Heard is crazy. We're not all like her, I promise. She has stigmatized the disorder with her behavior and lies.
Yes.
Yes, she's made other people look bad."
You hate to see it.
Jane says, "SA, DA, ARE, no-nos." Yep. Blue Beer said, "It's not about men and women. If Amber Heard wins, the abuser won. That is a bad message for every victim, men and women. Thanks for the early live stream. Always, this is my time." So I appreciate you guys throwing the euros at me. I really do this for you guys that are abroad, so you're not just stuck on these fucking American lawyers who have no consideration for the rest of the world. Mari says, "The question about the jury asked, the question that the jury asked about yesterday, is it good or bad for JD? I think it's good. It means it's seriously considering the issue. Also, the way it was resolved, but just looking at the headline, it makes it simple. It makes it real fucking simple. Is this one statement hurting JD? That's it. That's a simple question." Venray says, "First the ladies get to simp for Andrew. Now the men get to simp for Christina. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. A stream for all people." I try to keep the simping fair and balanced, guys.
Yeah, we're inclusive here. We got something for everybody.
Stephen Glasker says, "Told good logic, I think Amber Heard was smirking near the end because she believes her people have successfully coerced a jury into believing they're a hung jury." Maybe she thinks one of them is on her side. It's possible. That's very possible. It only takes one juror to hang that jury. I'm not saying it's well hung, but it is hung. Christian Jit Paul says, "Is she single?" He's talking about you, Christina. They come
No,
out
he's
of
not.
the woodwork. Kathleen Zellner said, Zellner tweeted all of her 6 to 8 week trials had a 3-day deliberation. Okay, cool. Well, her trials are not this trial, so you know, and I love it how like I hear criminal lawyers trying to compare it and all this stuff. It's like it's not criminal law, it's not your law, it's not in your jurisdiction. Now, if you're a civil lawyer in this jurisdiction and you've done type of cases like this and you've had this type of jury before, then yeah, I want to hear your opinion. But it could come out anytime, right? So it could come out anytime this week. I would believe that. Becco says, love your commentary. Do you think the jury sneak on social media or intel from friends in their spare time? Is it too much of a gamble? I think it's hard to stay away from social media. How the fuck do you stay away from it?
That's a good point.
Yeah. Thomas, so Thomas says, my dog stepped on a bee. Yes. So let me get through these, and then we're going to have another guest on here once I get through a couple of these super chats. Projects Done Poorly says, how hard is it to figure out for the jury? Bitches be crazy. Johnny should take like 2 minutes ish. Yeah. That would be me, but I'm not on the jury for a reason. Honey Badger, I don't give a fuck Badger says they don't process emotions well either. Yep, that's very true. Robert Sunderland says, let me undo that, says, as someone with high functioning ASD, I give you an A word and an R word pass. Thank you, my brother.
Let's go.
Eve Barlow's Rotten Crotch says, if the jury finds in favor of Scamber, will there be criminal proceedings against JD for SA? No, there won't. It's too late. Statute of limitations. If not, isn't this another failure of the system? No. There's not going to fine for Amber, by the way. There's no evidence. Like, there would be appeal to be thrown out in 2 seconds. Like, I just don't think it's possible. My dog stepped on a bee says, you are the red pill lawyer. I saw you on FNF. Amica cream helped my dog swelling on his foot. Yes, I am the probably only red pill lawyer. So I think everybody else is a little bit like purple at best.
It's true.
I mean, and I love them all. But, they do a little bit of as the only single lawyer, I don't think they understand what it's like on the streets. Like, it is not. It is not like it was back in 1970 when they were dating, right?
That's actually very true. It has changed a lot.
It's not even like 10 years ago, right? Like girls like Amber Heard, this is why it's such a big trial. I mean, Amber Heards are out there.
Yes, they're common.
Even more, and they're getting more common because they're getting emboldened to do and say whatever the fuck they want to say. And people who don't realize why I get personally, triggered by this is because I've met people like Amber Heard. I've seen them out there. There's a reason why they stay in circulation on the apps, right?
That's true.
There's a fucking reason why you see them and they're still there after 2 years. You know what I'm talking about, guys? If you're on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, whatever. Let's say you get on the apps and you see the same people there after a year. Ask yourselves why.
Exactly. Even the girls from the Tinder swindler thing. There was that one girl who had like over 1,000 matches. She was addicted to Tinder. Yep. And she's still going. She's still using it even after being swindled for $250,000. Mm-hmm. She's still going.
Yeah. And sorry, Sweetheart says I skipped her super chat. So Sweetheart, let me get yours. I'm so sorry. I got that right here. So she says, how long do you think it'll take to figure out damages and how do they calculate it? Well, hopefully Valiant comes on because I want to talk to him about how he would do it. But I think for me, damages are rather quick. To me, they're quick. I could do damages in 2 to 4 hours. But listen, our brother with the TISM, right? The TISM theory. I don't know how long it's going to take him to figure out damages. The motherfucker may do some Rain Man ass math, and I have no clue, right? Like how do I know how long it's going to take him? Like that could take him a day. Like he's doing fucking charts, like Charlie Kelly from It's Always Sunny, right? Like just doing all this other stuff, trying to figure out a number. I don't know. So that is something I can't tell you. Like that could take a full day, right? I have no clue. So that's a really good question there. I'm going to read one more, and then we're going to have a guest jumping in right here, which is you can hate someone's actions, not the person. Very true. Amber lied about one man. Now 100 million women want to bash her on site. She kind of is deserving of the bashing. Have you seen the video that Kate Moss watched Johnny perform in London? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with that?
That's nice. That's cute. Great.
Freedom! Can you share with us, please? We protest in Australia every 4 months in Raw. Yeah, that's oh, River, you sent me something, right? So I will definitely take a look at that. I'll share it in the future. So let me the trial is what I'm focusing on, River. So if it's other topics, like I will get to those after the shit ends. But right now I'm absorbing all the trial information. So anything that's not trial related, like I will get to it after this ends. Right now it's like eat, sleep, breathe in order to bring you guys the best information. I can't do that if I'm covering 6 topics, right? So once this is done, which should be soon, I will move on to other topics. I promise you guys. You can check out my channel. I didn't just cover celebrity stuff before this. I covered a lot of shit. Lee-based Bastion says, my daughter's autistic and everything is black and white to her, no gray areas, and she just has flyer loving her channel. Awesome. Okay, so without further ado, I'm bringing on my good friend from the UK who also spells center, C-E-N-T-R-E, Jordy Walker. Jordy, how's it going, brother?
Yo, not too bad. How you doing?
Good, brother. Good. I appreciate you reaching out to me because you were the one who asked me how I felt about the motion, and I wanted to let you kind of vent on that motion for a second here because you've been on my channel. You've been really helpful with a UK perspective, with a British perspective. So I just want to think from your outside perspective, how do you feel about that motion?
So I didn't watch it when it happened. All I know is that it was denied, and I know what the motion says because I read the document to my wife last night. And I expected it to be denied because once something's already in the hands of the jury, it's very, very hard to kind of like strike anything off the record because the jury's probably already taken what you want to strike into account potentially. So I understand why it was denied. Do I think it should have been approved? Yes, of course. But I get what Judge A has done. She's tried to be as fair as possible all the way through this trial. And I give her plaudits for that, and I think she's just continued that with her ruling on this motion. It's the fact of, well, it's already in the hands of the jury. Let's just let the jury decide.
Yep, and I think that sentiment, I get that sentiment, right? Because she doesn't want to create grounds for appeal, and in a way, that's actually helping Johnny, right? Because if you ruled on it improperly, that creates a ground for appeal for Amber. If Johnny wins, there's no grounds for. I mean, he's not going to appeal a win, right? So, like,
Exactly.
When you win, he's not going to say, oh, let me appeal to try to get more money. No, that's not what goes on, right? Yeah, so I think in the end, my kind of take is this worked out for the best for Johnny, even though he lost the motion.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, again, it's another thing to try and win over court of public opinion. It's another thing that helps him look good in the public and things like that. So I get why they brought it. I mean, they knew it was going to get rejected.
Oh, and sorry. So I will say something. So I guess the correction is it's not denied, but the judge is holding it for now.
Was it not actually a denial?
I thought it was denied, but I mean, if she ignored it, but either way, it's effectively it's denied because she's not going to give a curative instruction. She said she's not going to give a curative instruction. So I mean, I guess she could technically like grant it afterwards, like, but that would be really fucking weird. Like that essentially say that she did something wrong. So I just don't think it's effectively, I think, denied at this point. And now the only other reason I can think of for her holding it out is if the jury came back with a specific question on, is that statement true? Right. So there's that second part of that. Right. And let me pull that back up. I closed it for a second, but I'm going to pull it back up so we can take a look real quick. And I'll share the screen here. So there's the first count, which is about the broad statements, right? That this is the decision for every abuser everywhere, right? But the second part is about changing the jury instruction. So it's really about looking at this language. So the verdict form reads, the statement was false. They want to change that to the statement about Mr. Depp was false. So if they ask a question about number 3 here, she may grant it and change it. See?
But I feel that's just them being a bit finicky. Because why do you need to? Because you have to answer the questions in order anyway. Question 1 is, was it made or published by Heard?
I agree.
Statement 2 is, was it about Johnny Depp? And then statement 3 is just, was it false? So why do you need to add in there, was the statement about Mr. Depp false? Because question 2 is asking them whether they think it's actually about Mr. Depp or not. By adding that in, you're trying to force them to think that it is about Mr. Depp.
it's a very anal detail. It's extraordinarily nitpicky, and that, but it's the only reason I can leave for like, okay, maybe they can leave it out in case the same guy who asked the question about the headline asks a question about this, and then maybe you get this corrected. Maybe that's me stretching. I'm trying to like stretch my brain to think about why she just didn't deny it if she really did hold it out there.
I mean, that would be my reasoning for holding it out, is if they come back with a question, if they come, which, I mean, did about the headline, so it's not impossible to think they might come back with a question about other statements as well, so. Yeah,
it's possible, right? It's possible. I entertain the possibility, you know? So the next thing I wanted to cover, I don't know if you guys saw, did you guys see the ACLU stuff?
No, I don't
Okay.
think so.
No, I haven't seen that.
So Jordy, let me ask you a question. So in the UK, if there's a lawsuit, right? You know, because you had the solicitor background, so you know a little bit about that. And let's say it's, you know, you against the corporation, you know, and you are against, you know, whatever, Lloyd's of London, you know, you're suing fucking Lloyd's of London, and you're asking them to produce a lot of documents. You're saying, hey, I need your files, I need your computer files, I need everything from you, Lloyd's of London. Who pays those costs, the costs of getting those files for a court case?
I mean, it all depends. So
that's a good lawyer answer.
Initially, obviously, the party asking for those documents has to upfront that cost. But then it all depends on whether legal fees are included in the outcome. So, for example, if my team wins, and we've as part of our claim said that the other side, if we win, have to pay our legal fees, then it would be reimbursed in that kind of sense. But it all depends on the case, on whether that's part of the case. I mean, most times if there's a litigation that involves money, there is going to be legal fees included in it. I mean, like, for example, the one I'm dealing with on behalf of my dad, which is personal injury, it clearly says in the acceptance letter that if basically the other side agrees to the negotiations, then legal fees are covered by the other side.
So if they agree to the negotiations.
Yeah. Because obviously, if they don't, then it'll have to go to court, and the court will have to decide the outcome. But the other side, in this case, have already admitted liability. They've already admitted that they were at fault for my dad's accident. Which, if they denied it, they were stupid. There's CCTV on the lorries. So because liability has already been admitted, like, they've just got to negotiate a price now, whether it's a measly, stupid amount or whether it's a large amount, and obviously legal fees would be included in that negotiated price.
And by the way, I caught Everbard's here because I forgot. So the other day when my internet was acting up, I decreased the resolution on my camera so it wouldn't lag as much. But I just increased it, guys, to a little bit higher. This is a new environment for me, so I didn't want to fucking stress the internet right off rip, right? And fucking have it explode on me in my like family house here in Florida. You know, last time it was absolute garbage, and I was like, all right, I will throw money at you, increase the internet speed, please. So I will do tomorrow when I do a stream, or in the future, I will increase to 1080p. I have that function, and this is a 4K camera, so I can record in 1080p. But I'm trying to keep it flowing today, guys. Keep the stream flowing. We got to keep the flow of the stream. It's important. It's really important.
Yeah, but the ladies like Andrew in high resolution.
I know. They need to see the fact
the ladies what they
there's
want.
no fan in this room, and this fucking light is so bright. I'm sweating like a motherfucker. But yeah, I'll also have to adjust that. That's a new fucking light. But Jordy, in the United States, it is similar. I mean, in terms of the first person who makes the request has to pay. Usually.
Oh no. Look what happened, guys. You
Oh,
make
Andrew
Andrew
froze.
increase
Did I
the
freeze?
resolution.
Yeah,
and
you
he
froze big
freezes.
time.
He disappears.
Okay, we're back down to the potato, right? We're back down to the potato.
That literally cut out just as you were
Aw.
like, oh yeah, here in the US. you
We're
have
back
pay
to the
it up
potato.
front.
See, this is why we're on the potato, right? We're on the potato right now. You guys got to deal with 480p. I'm sorry.
Aw.
Andrew will be back in 1080p later, but 480p for now. But seriously though, guys, in the US, it's very similar. So we have prevailing party. So prevailing party will not have to pay, right? The losing party will pay the court costs and the legal fees for the prevailing party. So yeah. So Amber Heard will be paying for Camille and for Rottenborn, unless there's a settlement in which you specifically agree not to do that. But unless she settles,
Usually your settlement figure would include your legal fees, though.
well, and that's why you settle.
If you're good enough.
Yeah.
But that's why you settle, is because you don't want to pay the legal fees. A lot of times, the amount in controversy, let's say we're suing over $100,000, that's peanuts compared to legal fees. The legal fees could be $200.
Oh
right?
yeah.
So it's like, let's deal with that. You pay your legal fees, I'll pay mine, and I'll pay you, and we're done, right?
Yeah, the ACLU, aren't they asking for an insane amount of money though? Like,
well, hold on though. So the ACLU
86.
demands it costs $86K to cover its legal bills. So hold on though. I as a person who's been a lawyer, this is a large firm they charge. So they're demanding that Johnny Depp paid the bills. Now I am part in agreement, part in unagreement. Let me explain why. So allegedly, if this is true, they asked the ACLU to turn over, let's see, so it's 86,000 in production expenses, right? But they claim they had to review 7,500 documents and turn over 2,000 documents. So if this is true, you got to realize what happens with doc review. You have to pay some poor schlub associate attorney on a doc review program to censor out all.
You mean a paralegal?
Yes, or a paralegal, right? Or a paralegal, because
I did quite a bit of doc review. Yep.
So Jordy, how much time does it take to go through 7,500 documents?
I mean, I never had to go through that many. The most I had to go through was like 2,000 documents on one case, and that took me like more than a day. That's for sure. I mean, I was quick because there wasn't all that much that ever had to be redacted. It was just a couple of names here and there. But it's a pain. So much reading. Your head hurts after like an hour and a half to 2 hours of doing it.
It is the true slave work of the legal industry. And by the way, guys, for those who are interested in becoming lawyers, understand not all lawyering is sexy. You're not all going to be Camille Vasquez.
It's like 1 in a million chance where you get to be that Camille Vasquez. The rest of it is
it is much more likely you're going to be in Elaine, and by that I mean settling cases, not going to trial, because she should have never fucking gone to trial. Like, true. You're more likely to be in Elaine than a Camille. But that being said, never own that many cats. But also, this work does take a long time. So I see how it could add up to that, is what I'm saying. I see how you could get a bill that equals that. Plus, there was witness production and there was depositions for 16 hours, and they probably had partners there. I can see how they generated that number. However, here's the thing I don't agree with. I don't agree with them trying to pull this bullshit late in the trial. They should have submitted this motion early, just like everybody else, right, for their costs, and just had that up front. And then the prevailing party will end up, essentially having all the costs, including this, paid by the losing party. So Amber Heard, if she loses, would have to pay this.
It's very sneaky to do it at this point.
It's dishonest. It's sneaky. It's dirty. So that's where I'm at with this. The ACLU is playing a dirty game. Now,
I mean, what I don't get is surely this would have been paid up front anyway, because this kind of, like I said, normally this kind of thing, is depending on how far in advance of the actual trial it's been done, parts of it will have potentially already been invoiced for. So yes. So since this is already going to be handled, this is already going to be invoiced, this is already going to be out there, then I mean, it's already sunk costs. So why wait now? Just wait till the decision, then submit it like anything else and say, hey, Amber, pay me, bitch. And then she's gonna declare bankruptcy, but that's your own problem. And shout out to the paralegals. See a paralegal in Ontario, Canada. Shout out. Yeah, paralegals, by the way, are the real backbone of law firms.
People think the lawyers do the work. Lawyers don't know shit. The things that people that
It's
get
true.
stuff done, the deltas of the working world are the paralegal. They're the ones who are the real workers, are the ones who actually like get shit done. Like they grind, they get it done when you need to do something. They produce it for you. They do it quickly. Lawyers are often boomers. They don't know technology. They can't get shit
So
done.
true.
They can't file for the life of them. I mean, look at me, guys. I can barely run a stream. You know,
My
let's be
boss
fucking
struggled
honest
to
here.
run a photocopier. I don't know how he ran an office.
Oh my
That's
god,
not-
that's
that's-
so
guys,
true.
We literally had an attorney who was like as old as Father Time. He was like back in the freaking Jurassic period, right? He was using a fax machine and he would get the books, like the law books. We had everything was online. We had like
Oh my
Westlaw and
God.
everything. He would get the physical books. Those books had to be updated every 6 months, and they cost literally off rip like $10K like per set of books.
Aw.
It was ridiculous. We had to
Bless
eventually
his
say,
heart.
we had to, bless his heart, but we had to say, bro, no, we'll hire you somebody for less than that who can literally just print out everything for you.
Aw.
Like we will hire you a specific worker, and have them just report to you and do whatever you want. You know,
Oh my goodness.
crazy.
I worked at a law firm once where one of the partners was this old guy, Charlie. He was like in his 70s, but he grew up in Miami like yourself. He was super cool. He was in a band called like Charlie and the Eggheads or something, and he would make me these like playlists and stuff. He was awesome.
That's
I
awesome.
loved that guy. He would
Fucking
wear
love
these
that.
Ray-Bans and stuff. He was super cool.
Just bought some new Ray-Bans on the way back. I need them for the Florida sun. It's pretty bright
You
here.
need them. Yes.
Let's get to some of these super chats because these guys are rolling in, and I want to make sure we're not ignoring y'all because I never ignore the chat. You guys know that. I'm a man of the chat. Well, really. Glenn IQ 160 says, based on her facial expressions during the trial, do you think it is likely that Amber will have a burgeoning career as the face of feminine itching products?
She'd be lucky if she gets on the screen again, I reckon.
OnlyFans is looking real good right now. M. Lockwood says, not all, but definitely that one hope the Texans get their way, but jail would probably be more legal. Wait, what? I don't know about Texans, but yeah, I'm a little confused, but I like Texas, so I'll throw that out there. My dog stepped on a bee says, interesting. Amber Heard psychologist said only men, do violence, right? The only male domestic violence, I think he said DV instead of PV, was between gay men, like not between hetero couples. Talk about being biased. Yeah. So
Yeah.
imagine having a fucking
Ridiculous.
expert witness that believes that women are incapable of violence. To me, that's sexist. It's saying that you can't do it, but men can.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
typical
insane.
of medical societies around the world. I mean, yes, I'm not saying it's everybody, but there are a lot of people within that kind of industry that have that kind of view.
Well, and they've kind of internalized these views, even in the APA. I've talked about this. They updated their the American Psychology Association. They updated some of their criteria to pretty much assess a lot of quintessentially male traits like stoicism and aggressiveness, competitiveness, stuff like that, as personality disorders, as toxic, right? As issues, right? So you're qualifying what is male as problematic, right? Which quintessentially male as problematic, or stereotypically male as problematic. It's a problem. We see this sort of push, and there's so few male psychologists who are out there willing to talk about the issues that men have.
Yes.
It's very stigmatized. I think Dr. Sean Smith tried to do it, but he was actually so threatened that he had to back down and kind of shut up because his license was at stake, his practice was at stake.
That's insane.
And he was already being very milquetoast, very gentle with his message, but they really do push back against you when you speak up for men. They really do. So yeah, it really does make me sick as well. My dog stepped on a bee continues and said, society can't grasp that a man can be abused by a woman because of the stigmatization in society. And Me Too has been weaponized for the real D victims. Makes me sick. Yeah, it does make me sick too. I agree with that one. Bubba Chop says Amber's only chance of redemption is to own up to absolutely everything and become the poster child of BPD and other disorders. Thoughts? Honestly, that would have been a better move than what she did here.
I mean, I think it would have just been a better move for her to like
Settle.
not try and make it seem all one-sided. I mean, nobody believes that it all came from Johnny. No, I don't. I think there's very, very few people in the world that actually like. If you sat them down and had like a one-to-one, heart-to-heart conversation with them, like I think there are very few people in the world that would say that this is all one-sided from Johnny. Whereas that's obviously what Amber's trying to portray.
Mhm.
I think that was the wrong move because like I said, barely anyone believes that. So she should have just come in going, yeah, I made my mistakes, I did my things, but Johnny also did these things which are potentially worse, potentially not worse. Like I'm not saying that she couldn't come in and tell her story, but just don't try and make it seem like she's an angel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't make it seem like you have done no sin, Amber. And to say, it's so disgusting to say that we expected her to be perfect in the closing. Nobody expected her to be perfect. In fact, that's Amber. Amber needed to be perfect. She was the one who needed to be perfect.
You could see it when she was up there testifying. She could not admit to doing any little, not even a tiny little thing wrong.
Nothing.
No accountability, no ability to self-reflect. It's just, she was perfect. She's always the victim. And this is what Dr. Mommy said her symptoms were, like minimizing any of her own faults, but then becoming extremely self-righteous about everybody else's. You know?
I missed something there. Who's Dr. Mommy?
Dr. Mommy is the blonde with the glasses.
Dr. Curry.
Curry. Yeah.
Yeah, I can get her up real quick. Hold on, I got you.
No, I know who Dr. Curry is. I just don't understand why people are calling her Dr. Mommy.
Come on, we like to see
we
Dr.
We
Mommy.
need context for the people. We cannot go out here giving the people something without context. I think that's negligent. I think it's irresponsible. And I just think that really what the world needs is more mommies, right? In the world.
True.
I've heard of Dr. Muffins because she told the muffin story, but I've never heard
She's
her
also
referred to as
Dr. Muffins,
Mommy.
but here she is.
Mommy.
Mommy,
Oh, dear.
right here. Look at Bronca. Look at Jeff. Look at Rakela. Look at me. Dear God, I'm sweating it out. It is the thirst is real. And my tweet was no further comment, guys. No further comment. None is needed here. This takes out like to go to horny jail.
Oh God.
This is so good. The comments here are great. Bronca is getting called out. So fucking good. The comments of this were so good. All right, guys. So you've got your daily dose of mommy. All right. Daniel says, I'm terrified that Judge Penny's hair and glasses will become fashionable in conjunction with Camille's dress. Agree regarding the apps, my friend. Yes, stay away from those apps, guys. The dating apps are real dangerous. Although some places are the only option, but they are dangerous. Glenn IQ says, based on her facial expressions during trial, do you think it is likely that Elaine's squim looks like Squidward from SpongeBob SquarePants?
Oh my goodness.
100% though. 100% though. Like 100%. Chris says, glad to know your red pill. In a world of Ambers, good men must simply walk away or watch the legal system completely destroy your lives and the lives of your kids. Yeah.
Yes.
My take is the less you can get the government involved in your personal life and your family life, the better. The less you get the government involved, the better. The government has no business in your bedroom. And you know what? That can apply to all situations. Get the government the fuck out of it. It's not, the government should not be the guy in your closet watching you. You know, that's not what needs to go on at home, right? This is a relationship between you and another human. They have nothing to fucking do with it. They should have nothing to do with it. That's my take on this.
Yes.
David Molina says, how rotten must the lawyers representing Amber Heard be if they know that she's lying her ass out just to stay relevant in Hollywood? Yep. And here's the thing, though. That's why she's losing her sponsorships.
Yes.
Max Mira said, with these 610 Japanese yen, and Max, once again, has Japanese background. Let me say this before I read his Asian racism here. Autism aside, any way to tell if Asian jurors fluent in English, and he puts in parentheses, if offended, I don't care. Fear is nuance. Cultural references get mixed. Max Mira. Yeah, and that's true. Like when you're speaking cross-culturally, that is an issue. Now, I don't know, apparently there's a lot of big Korean area in that. It's a Koreatown in that area.
Yes.
A lot of Korean Americans speak really good English. I've had Korean Americans reach out to me because they know I'm in Korea. They're like, oh, it's awesome. Like, I may visit Seoul. What's up? I've got somebody in the chat who's here in Seoul sometimes, and we're gonna try to meet up. So like, look, I'm in Asia, so it is what it is. And the point is, yeah, when I'm in Asia and I'm speaking English to a Korean, they don't get the comments and the cultural context I'm telling them. The same thing, they're not getting it in English, right? It goes both ways. So that's not an offensive thing. That's a fucking fact, right? Even Jordy, when Jordy makes some UK quip, I don't fucking get it sometimes, right? Like, and he may not get my like Americanisms, right? Because we may be focused on different things. Like you guys make Aussie jokes, and I just don't fucking get them. That's the way culture is. It is different.
Uncultured.
It's not all subjective. I'm sorry. Jordy, I am sorry. I do not simp for the queen, right? We fought a war.
Hey, neither do I.
I'm sorry I don't do it.
Abolish the monarchy. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool,
get rid
cool.
of Prince Andrew.
I'm
on the same
all
page.
I'm all for republicanism. I really am.
Yeah,
we should be a republic.
We're on the same page then. As a Muso, going through Johnny's playlist, he's played a lot of Martin Gaye. Was that illusion I heard it through the grapevine? And playing A Day in the Life was quite telling. Yeah, that was quite telling. Daniel Chapman says, OnlyFans are now such a powerful lobby in Florida. You'll have excellent internet soon. Yeah, I'll have excellent internet tonight when I'm in the building where literally the most OnlyFans goes on in Miami, Florida, which is the oh my god,
Oh dear God.
the towers, the Panorama Towers in Miami. The most OnlyFans and seeking arrangement girls in Miami are in that fucking building. I swear to God.
Oof.
We had Rio saying she's a paralegal. Shout out to the paralegals. E Park, what's up? No, my feeling is that no one will win, but Johnny will get his life back and Amber loses. So glad to see him performing in London in the presence of Kate Moss. Yes. Beat Yokesay, who's my buddy who's in Seoul. He's got my cacao now, so we're going to meet up. Says, so-called free world is crumbling. Censorship, radical feminism, and especially due process. If Johnny Depp loses, it means the U.S. legal system is fucked up. My son might have to get signed consent letter before getting laid. That, by the way.
Oh my God. Could you imagine?
No,
That's
but
ridiculous.
Christina, no. But have you guys seen those consent videos that the colleges are pushing for like
What? No. Oh my God. How bad is it?
So U.S. colleges are putting out videos about consent, and they're saying that you need to consent to everything. So, Christina, can I touch your hands?
Oh my God.
Christina, can I touch your shoulder? Christina, can I kiss you on the cheek? Christina, do I have permission to take off your pantaloons? Can I take off your left sock?
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Can I touch your boobie? Can I touch your boobie, excluding the nipple? Excluding the nipple, right?
That is almost as bad. There was a woman a while ago on UK News who said you should ask a baby permission to change their nappy or diaper.
What?
Yeah, you should be asking your 6-week-old baby, do you mind if I change your nappy? Are you okay with that?
No, Jody. We just leave it in its filth. It's not consenting. Just leave it in its filth.
That's my point. You can't do
That's so
that.
awful.
That's just as ridiculous as that. Those two situations are as ridiculous, and it's a joke.
So you're a domestic and possibly sexually abuser if you're changing the diaper, right? The nappy, as you say, or you're going to be convicted for child negligence if you don't, right? So either way, you're fucked. You're damned if you do.
Catch 22.
By the way, this is the destruction of the family, which is the agenda all along, by the way.
Yes.
If you guys haven't been paying attention, pay attention. Zoom out. Destruction of the family is the number one goal for the people with this agenda, to destroy, absolutely nuke the family.
Yes.
And all aspects of it. If you're talking about censorship and the radicalness, that's where it all goes. Colin said, does the motion say filed 422? I have to check the motion again, but it could be. But the point of the matter is that this trial has been going on for 2 years. So even if it was filed 422, that's late in the scope of this proceeding. So this has been going on for a long time. They had a chance to file it sooner. Okay, 422 is better than tomorrow, right? But yeah, it's still not as soon as it could be. Surely Johnny's 100K donation earlier should cover that 186K. It's hilarious. Yeah, it's like, take it out of Amber's, put it in my bank, bitches. Bryce says, U.S. does not have prevailing party except in extremely narrow circumstances, FDCPA and random consumer protection. Actually, in certain statutes give you prevailing party. So That's why, for example, Florida, the plaintiffs bar is very active because a lot of, for example, car crash, stuff like that, you've got prevailing party provisions. Also ADA, right? So ADA is something that's highly litigated because of the fees, right? So yeah, that's a good point. Not everywhere has it, and it's something that isn't everywhere. That's very true. Jermaine says, I used to work in IT for the Oklahoma Supreme Court and all subordinated county courts, and it took a great deal of patience to explain tech to boomer judges. Yes, judges are uber boomers. That is 100% facts. And E Parked is a duplicate. My feeling is no one will win, but Johnny will get his life back. We got that one. Allison said, since we have a pregnant man emoji, can we have an Amber Turd emoji with blonde hair and a bottle of Maker's Mark? Now, Apple will not make an Amber Turd, but I, Legal Mindset, can make an Amber Turd for my members. So I will put that on the list of an Amber Turd emoji, right? That is on the list, guys. It's on the list. My dog stepped on a bee, says Dr. Curry, a.k.a. Sexy Muffins. Yes, we love her muffins. Casper with a K says, proving perjury about the pledge thing is difficult. Some people do have an incorrect understanding of a word and they use it in the wrong context. Yeah, perjury is difficult to prove, right? Because if you had a good faith to believe something, that's different than knowingly saying something that's a lie. Will Canuck says, I'll be the first to say that Amber Heard is official Cockney rhyming slang for number 2. My dog stepped on a bee, said Judge Penny is the only one that didn't live in Johnny Depp's penthouse. Bro, that's facts. I think that Amber Heard's favorite phrase was to be gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, minimize, manipulate, manifest. Christina, did we miss any?
Nope, I think that's all of them.
That's pretty fucking good. That's pretty fucking good.
I think that can be summed up as Mean Girl.
Yeah.
I think you could add Slay Queen on there, maybe.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah. Natasha says, do you think Depp has done enough to win his reputation back? I think so. What do you guys think?
Well, he's on tour in the UK at the moment, so hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Jordy, is it getting press over there? Like, what's it looking like in the UK?
I mean, it's in the media, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I haven't really been reading the articles because I don't really read mainstream media, so I see it as I'm scrolling on the internet and I see that they're obviously reporting on it. I don't necessarily know whether it's good or not, good or bad in the article because, like I said, I don't really read it. So,
yeah, accountability is kryptonite for Amber Turd. Yes, I agree with that. Please, Legal Mindset, there are ladies watching. Oh, I know there are ladies watching. I know, ladies. I keep an eye on you. Real-time consent apps are a thing. Record as you work your way through all the bases. Check it out. Yep, I've seen that.
Oh my God, apps?
That is insane. That is insane.
Is that not just trying to basically film some level of adult video?
Right. Oh my God.
I mean, you're basically going
nuts.
up to the point of going, oh yes,
just click yes for all. Like here's the app. Click what you consent to. You know. No rear entry. Okay, we're good. A little bit of light spanking, right? Okay, we're good, right?
No whips and chains. That's perfect.
No riding crop. Come on. Like we're going 50 Shades Light. Okay. The package deal, right? The 50 Shades Light. Amin Dania said, wouldn't there be enough for the jurors to be well informed that she's guilty AF? Besides, common sense would tell everyone that Turd flipped because he couldn't take rejection and went too far. Yeah, I think Turd is definitely someone you see. She's rejected. She's salty. She wants Johnny's attention more than anything. She's attention seeking, and she wants it back, and she knows she's never going to get it again.
But it only takes one of those jurors to have the same kind of thoughts as the mainstream media. That's my only concern. Is like and it's quite a high possibility that one of those jurors goes, well, she might be exaggerating a little bit, but we think she's telling the truth on a lot of things, or I think, not me, but this juror might think that she's telling the truth on a lot of things and might think that, yes, Johnny's telling the truth, but he's also lying as well. And it only takes that one juror to think that to kind of like bring the whole thing down. So that's my only concern with the jury. And it's not like a low probability of that happening. I'd say it's probably like a 60 to 65% chance of getting that kind of juror. So
yeah, it's possible though. It's always possible. That's the thing. You don't never know. It's why when I give my prediction, I say, hey, 10%. Who the fuck knows, right? There's 10%. Yeah. I give 10% to a jury that is nullifying, a jury that's not paying attention, a jury that's just ignoring the law. There's always a possibility, right? Korean says, ridiculous. These people are mentally ill. I could not agree more. Curative says, family destruction. He's right, you know. Romeo says, Andrew, are you getting a breeding visa for Japan? The Japanese Accelerated Family Bureau will begin issuing breeding visas to foreigners.
God.
I have not even heard of that now. Your boy Legal Mindset is open to exploring any and all visas. So your boy will do some research, but I have not heard of a breeding visa before. That is some insane shit if it's true, right?
Stop giving him ideas.
Yeah, you just put that in my head, so thank you. Kalia Hur says, just because they're Asian doesn't mean they can't get it. What does it really matter their race? English is my first language. I wasn't born here. English is so sad. Kalia, listen very carefully, especially if English is your first language. Listen to this. I never said being Asian is the issue. What I said is how fluent are you in English? I live in Korea. There are Asians there that speak fluent English, right? Those happen to be the ones that I tend to date because we communicate better and we have better conversation, right? They speak better English than sometimes I do, right? Race has nothing to do with it. What it means is how long have they been in this country? How fluent are you? Max, the person who submitted that super chat, if you listened carefully and paid attention, he lives in Tokyo, Japan, but he speaks fluent English. We talk all the time in English, right? He's a fucking smart guy. He's been on this channel, right? So race has nothing to do with it. What he's saying is how long have they been in the United States? If you are fresh off the boat, either way, right? Me going to Korea, if I'm trying to fucking speak Korean, I know 10 words, right? I'm not going to be able to get context of stuff said in Korean. That's a fact, right? And yes, that's because I'm American. And that's because I don't speak Korean, right? Same thing for somebody, a Korean who's on the jury who might not know. Maybe they just got here, right? That's a big difference. We have no idea, though. We don't know the jury, so we can't tell. Could that be a difference, though? Yes, it can. I can't rule that out as an objective person, right? And I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but you really have to get your feelings out of this, right? And I know that it's hard for people when you hear something and it's you, but remove your feelings. We're just talking facts on this channel, and we're not censoring it. It's straight facts.
I was going to say, it's got nothing to do with race because it applies to everybody that might live in a different country. Because if I could go and move to, I don't know, China.
Jordy.
I've got no idea how to speak Chinese. So if I was on a jury over there, I wouldn't get half of the context.
Right.
Forget China, Jordy. Do you know?
That's just an example. Sorry.
No. But Jordy, do you know about the U.S. state of Tennessee?
Oh, I've heard of it, obviously.
Okay. If you lived in Tennessee, I guarantee you guys would have trouble communicating.
Yes.
There's a possibility, especially like the Appalachian region.
There's a specific word
region.
There's a specific word for people of that region of America, isn't there? Is that the word I'm thinking of?
You can call. I mean, there's lots of different words, right? I mean, there's.
Hold on. I'll pop it in the private chat.
Yeah. Some of them are more derogatory. Nice. Some of them are not. I mean, look,
it's not a very nice word. I've been punched for saying it.
No. I'll say. Oh yeah, redneck. No, I'll say. And by the way, redneck comes from actually the coal miners. They used to wear red bandanas around their necks. The West Virginian coal miners. So there's a historical background. And by the way, a lot of people in the South, they own that. They take that on themselves and be like, I own that. I'm a fucking redneck. And this is redneck culture. This is redneck as hell. I mean, they own that shit. And that's not derogatory at all. I mean, the people that are trying to make these things derogatory are people that are the crazy SJW warriors. Anybody in the South will laugh if you call them a redneck. And they'll probably own it. And you're in the South, I mean, Christina, so I'm sure you hear that term thrown around.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Southish, because North Virginia is like South.
The Beltway is like different than everywhere else.
And shout out to Tug. Tug is like still has twang though. Tug is definitely has twang. My mom loves it. My mom thinks that's her favorite voice. She's like, I love Tug. She's like, Jordy's kind of, it's like I like Jordy, but he's hard to understand sometimes. I'm like, Mom, you just don't know enough Brits. I just saw someone in chat turn around and go, it's the same as going to Newcastle. Even if you know English, you are fucked if you go to Newcastle in the UK. And I can back that up by the fact that in my current job, I've got a guy that's in my team that I work with that is from Newcastle. And every time I have a conversation with him, although he's very well spoken, there are times in the conversations where I'm like, the fuck did you just say? Yep. See right here, I get them in the chat. It's like hell yeah, I'm a redneck woman. My neck is red as hell. People are owning this shit. Get it done, right? They're owning this shit in the chat. Like, and that's what I love. Just like own it, right? Like when people try to shame you, just fucking own it. Double down, agree and amplify. Just own it, man. Live that shit. Like, make it yours. And that's the way you really fucking own them.
Right.
Is you take what they try to own you with and you just fucking throw it in their face that you don't give a fuck. That's the ultimate victory. Because they care, you don't. So my dog stepped on a bee says, I'd like to see this college rule in Latin America and Europe, where they're very affectionate to each other. What a joke, only in America. Yes, only in America. And I will say, no offense, guys, but UK and Australia are usually either ahead or not behind of us here in the United States.
We're not affectionate.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
you guys, with the consent stuff.
We're gonna get the consent apps next.
Let me put it this way: the only time I've let a girl pay for me on a first date is in Australia, where I was told that's like common and that's like normal.
What?
Yes, on
So
Bondi
weird.
Beach, a Tinder date bought me a smoothie, and they said it's normal and it's like so there's no pressure like for anything to happen.
I mean, it's not normal over here, but I had a first date where she insisted to pay and basically took my wallet off me and wouldn't let me pay. So I was like, "Oh, okay, saved me a bit of money." I didn't feel that great because, in my opinion, on a first date, the guy should always pay.
Emasculating. It's emasculating. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a masculine thing.
yeah. I know. I get it, but I'm like, all right, it's Australia, so if you're telling me this is a local culture, I'll accept it because I'm here. Still smash though, so I mean, it's regardless. It doesn't really matter. Anyways, next one, Ana Luis Machado. Yes, this is one that's been sent to me. Today is National Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day. That's not even a lie, for real.
Wow.
If the jury releases it today, so you say, is the jury effectively sending a message? That'd be historical. Love your attitude. Greetings. Yes, thank you so much.
That would be
Appreciate
funny.
that from Portugal. Love that. That'd be fucking great. Monica says, hi from Italy. I used to work as a lawyer assistant or slave for many years. You got the point. My ex-boss was just a law presence. Yeah, they're like somebody sitting in an office, like a pharaoh, lording over their people building the pyramid, right? Yeah. Especially the senior partners. They're about as old as Tutankhamun. They might as well be, in a sarcophagus. Daniel Chapman said she invented the term turgery.
Uncivil Law just put in chat that he's not wearing pants.
Uncivil Law, get the fuck out of my chat with your nudity. Get the fuck out of your chat with my nudity.
I mean, I don't know what that means.
Your
You guys
cries
in
for
America have a
attention.
different meaning of pants to the UK. In the UK, pants are underwear.
He could be wearing shorts, guys. Who knows?
He could be. Yeah, in the UK, pants is underwear. So does that mean he's not wearing underwear,
What?
or does that mean he's not? Because in the US, you have a different meaning, don't you?
Oh my goodness.
Ryan
I don't want to know.
Uncivil, TMI, bro. TMI. Ryan says it's arnica cream, not Amica, apparently. Yeah, and there's people saying it both ways. Some of the brands say Amica on it. So this is like the biggest debate. Like, is the dress gold and was it blue and gold, or what is it? White and I forget. What was that? Remember that dress you saw two ways?
It was blue and gold. I only ever saw it.
It was blue and gold, the real answer, but whatever. Some people saw some other stuff, but they're blind. Starting that fight again. Andrew Jeb says, an MP here in England wanted all men to have a curfew to stay indoors after 8 p.m. #ClownWorld. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Is that real?
What was that? Say that again.
They said, Andrew sent a super chat with £5 So they're apparently in England. They said an MP, so a member of parliament in England.
Oh, is this about when the MP
all
came
men
out?
to have a curfew.
Yeah, so this was a thing that happened.
This is real.
It was within the last 4 years because it was during the time that I've been with my wife, and I've been with my wife for 4 years. So it was within the last 4 years. And yeah, basically they were saying that men at night scare women, and to prevent women being scared when they're walking down the street at night, and to prevent like at night SV and things like that men should have a curfew. Yeah.
I'm sure criminals are going to respect that.
Yeah.
I mean, I
exactly.
wasn't even going to respect it.
Also, here's the thing, Jordy. How about if I declare as a woman now? Because that's legal in England too. So I identify as a woman. You're going to see a lot of men identifying as women.
Well, not only that, the MP didn't expand on exemptions or anything like that. And at the time, I worked nights, so I left home at 8:30 in the evening and didn't come home until like 6, 7, 8 in the morning, whatever time I finished. So, I mean, they didn't even mention exemptions for people that were working. So I said to my wife, I was like, well, she was my fiance at the time, I think. And I was like, well, there goes that job if they ever enact that. I mean, thankfully, it didn't get enough support, and I don't think it ever would get enough support. But just the fact that it had a little bit of support in the MPs, because one MP, it was their idea, but there was, I think, maybe 5 or 6 MPs that were actually behind it.
And here's the thing: is that and we've talked to social media people that kind of expand upon this. They take those messages that are fringe, that are pushed by 1 to 3%, and the news publishes these. They get circulated. They get just pushed. So we feel like even though these things may only be supported by 5 MPs, right? Because it's fucking nuts. That's literal insanity, right?
Yeah.
But I mean,
by the way,
we already. Sorry, go on.
Oh yeah, I was just saying. Well, like you, but Jordy, you are the type of guy who's working at night, and this is a fucking base statement. I'm just gonna say it. But men working throughout the night get shit done in society, right?
Yep.
Men that are fucking doing the roads. By the way, most construction is done at night because it's safer, right? They're cleaning the roads, they're cleaning the streets, they're getting the trash on the streets, they're doing the plumbing. These guys are keeping the fucking lights on, and you're telling them they can't go out at night. That is disgusting.
Yep.
I mean, it's already got to the point where in the UK, I mean, a lot of guys don't speak out against things. You've got a culture in the UK, and there's going to be loads of people in the chat that disagree with this or agree with it, and I don't care. But my opinion is that, like, you should be like the kind of culture we have, in my opinion, is that you should kind of be ashamed to be a man. Being a man is not a good thing. It's a very, very bad thing. And that's kind of like the culture that's trying to be pushed. And I'm not saying it's like massively widespread, but it's definitely, in my opinion, a culture that exists and is trying to be spread. And a lot of the people that try and spread it, and again, people will agree or disagree with this, and I don't care, but they try and claim it's in the name of feminism. Whereas if you go back in history, feminism was about equality, not about any gender being more superior or less superior. It was all about equality. So,
yeah. And by the way, this is the Chris had brought this up yesterday, so I'm thank you for super chatting, Chris. I appreciate that. But he's like, you're exactly right. I've worked with social media analytics for 12 years. They find the most gullible 1 to 3%, put them in a bubble, and radicalize them.
Yes.
Speaking of radicalized bubbles, fucking uncivil law. Like, motherfucker, it was fucking $10 super chat. Eggplant, water emoji, XXX women in your area, hot for you, free cams at YouTube/uncivil law an operation. Uncivil, I don't know if you want to get your channel yeeted for promoting cam girls, but
yeah, right.
But balls on you. By the way,
he didn't say they were naked.
By the way,
uncivil.
Uncivil law, yes, they need to be naked on your channel. By the way, you need to put that, they need to be naked. Tits are GTFO. But the point is like uncivil law is like the master of dropping the like marketing text, because he also dropped one in Law and Cuck's super chats to get the PR there. So
that's ridiculous.
I appreciate your grift, Uncivil. I really do.
I'll be right back, by the way.
Okay, you're out forever. Any Game Maker says more like the breaded Visa. Am I right? Andy, I love it. Sam says, no questions about lack of blood on Amber Heard if the bottle was utilized by JD with an amputated digit, exponential blood on her. Then takes SED when scared. What the fuck? Yeah. Her story doesn't line up, and she would definitely have medical evidence for sure. Why was the Jennifer Howell testimony about Whitney's account in the Stare not allowed? Because it was hearsay, and because it was what Whitney told her. Jennifer Howell did not see it herself. Mike Hat said, got to be a carpet salesman after this. Heard is going to be a carpet salesman. That's what OnlyFans is for, my friend. My dog stepped on a bee, said tug is an outlier for Tennessee language, less twang. Very true. The wife of his said SJWs try to sell hyper consent as sexy as fuck. Having to consent on that level will never be sexy. That will always be something that is not sexy at all. It's a turnoff, not a turn on. The Big Sleepy says, there's a new movie with Mr. Bean called Man vs. Bee. Good to see not all lives have been ruined by this trial. # justice for the bee. Yes, we need justice for that bee. Daniel Chapman says, I live alone. I live in a commonwealth. That's what Daniel says. Gordy Gay Gaming says, leave us Geordies alone. Oh, I guess it's Geordie. It's just spelled differently. You spell yours Jordi.
So the Geordie that he's referring to is people from Newcastle. So the people from that kind of region are referred to as Geordies.
I did not know that.
Gordies.
See, I'm learning. I like this. Legal mindset. Teaching you something about the UK. As much as I love tug, a tugger means something very different in Australia. I'm not giving you a tugger, James, Daniel. No. Jamie says, I live in China. I spend a lot of time trying to figure out cultural context and to explain mine. Thank you, Jamie. I really fucking appreciate that comment from somebody who lives abroad in another country, right? Thank you, because I spend a lot of time explaining cultural context. It matters. It really matters. And I only start to get it after I understand that culture more, right? It really, 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 really does matter. Daniel says, mate, it's normal if she's not keen. Yeah. I mean, sometimes there's just girls that are not keen to things, but you kind of read it and then you stop, right? It's sort of like being socially calibrated and not stupid. Danny says, if she wants to pay, let her pay. Yeah, if she's insisting, right? But it's different, you know. In America, usually they'll offer to pay, but then you'll say, "No, let me pay," and they don't correct you, right? That's for you people who are in the UK or Australia or New Zealand, whatever. If it's different over there, but in the US, in my storied US dating history, women only offer to pretend to offer, but as soon as you assert yourself, they back down. In Australia, when I did that, they insisted, and I did it the second time, and she insisted a third time. So at that point, I was like, all right, you want to insist 3 times? The lady is not going to protest too much, right? You know, so we're just going to let it happen. For the UK, did you know 2 drunk people deciding to have a 6 are mutually committing to each other? University videos are beyond saving. Wait, what? Jordy, can you translate this for me?
Hold on, let me try and zoom in on my phone. So,
did you know that 2 drunk people deciding to have a 6 are mutually committing to each other? Oh, I guess grape to each other.
Oh yes, because the whole thing in the UK is that you can't consent if you're under the influence of alcohol.
What?
So if you're under the influence, then you're obviously not thinking straight, and it's
so every baby, so like half the babies are grape babies, because I mean, shit, you know how much sex happens when people are drunk?
Yeah, and there's a big thing about, well, I don't want to say a big thing because it's not like massive, but it's commonly known. Well, I guess it's not as common as people think, but like it's a thing where if you're under the influence, it's been said many times when those kind of SV cases have been taken to trial and things, that somebody can't give proper informed consent if they're under the influence of alcohol, which I understand, but it's different for everybody. There are some people that when they're absolutely wasted can still think perfectly straight, can still do things perfectly normal, and alcohol doesn't really affect them. But then you've got other people where they get absolutely wasted and they don't know what the hell's going on. They wake up the next day and can't remember absolutely anything. So I kind of understand it in that sense. But I mean, when it comes to 2 drunk people, obviously that's the theory. I don't know if that's ever been applied, so I can't speak to whether it's been applied or not. I've never kind of like heard about it or looked into it, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like something that's like a law that is going to be crazy to enforce. Like, you'd be insane to try to enforce that law. I mean, it's just to me, those laws are going too far. But I don't want to stray too much down on that. That's a whole separate topic. We can talk about that another day.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's like really going down a rabbit hole of UK law. Nicholas Starro says, got a bottle of Plantation Grand Reserve to sip on, enjoy, or gulp down in sorrow. Yes, and we're going to go live here in a second. The courtroom footage should be starting soon, and I'll
I'm
you
back.
guys over. Thank you. Welcome back.
Guys, I chugged a coffee, you know.
I haven't had any coffee. People are like, Andrew's on the coffee. I've had 0. I've had nothing. I just went raw. I started today. That's
Andrew's high on life, man.
High on life. I mean, high on Florida, man. I'm in Florida. This is all Florida energy. The Battle of Blair Mount anniversary was yesterday. In 1921, coal miners stood up themselves wearing red bandanas. The government used planes and poison gas against them. Let that be a lesson for this generation. Yes, hunch, 100%.
What?
That's where the redneck came from, was the miners.
Really?
The miners.
Oh, my gosh.
Beat Yoke says... Sorry,
Was the Rockefellers involved in that?
It was all of the industry and all of the corporations at that time.
Yeah, okay.
They were all against that. The Pinkertons, all that shit.
Yes, I saw something about this. Yes. I am smart.
I'm sure you are.
Big brain.
Beat Yokse for 5,900 Korean won says, how sensitive have people become? No facts, just feelings. That's all the media right now, and that's all they want to put out, is that. Glenn says, Geordie, I'm from Newcastle. A Geordie. Our accent owes itself to our Saxon Viking heritage.
It does indeed.
How dare you slander their heritage?
No. I'm not slandering the heritage. They're just hard to understand.
Yeah.
Oof.
Jono Dekeen said, Hawaiian rednecks speak thick and chunky pidgin. Outside tourist areas, a quarter of their vocab is the word dakeen. Takes me a week to adapt. Yep. And that's around the world. There's always slang that is localized.
Yes.
Brian C. says, if men have a curfew at 8 p.m., how will all the thirsty women get their free drinks at the bar? Bro, that is some fucking savage shit. I love it. Financial consultant, $5. Thank you. Ian Mack says, as a Macam screw, that Glenn IQ guy teasing, much love. What's a Macam? Is that another area? Is that like a UK thing? MACKEM? I don't know. Is that Manchester? I don't know. What is that?
Wait. Say that again. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
So I think there's some Newcastle rivalry here. So like Glenn is from Newcastle. So Ian, I think because he's sending in Australian 5. So I don't know where he's from, but he says as a Mackem, MACKEM. I don't know what that is. So we're getting some racial tensions, some cultural tensions here.
I think Macca is from Anglo-Saxon speak as well. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it comes from Anglo-Saxon stuff.
Okay, sorry guys, that's something I don't know about, but I'm learning on this channel, all these cultural tensions. Jennifer Douglas says, feminism these days is hating men and women. That is facts.
Yes.
That is 100% facts. It is sabotaging both men and women.
Yes, wanting women to be miserable. Mm-hmm. Very sad.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that a lot on your channel, Radix.
Yeah.
Victoria, Australia laws say businesses have to ensure their employees show the juice status before entering the business premises. I'll show my juice status in person, but I'll never send it. I don't know Australian law. All I know is you guys have been crazy, like strict on that. RC Bandit says, so I'm at a showdown and I've shown my reception in my office, my juice status and versus HR that wants an electronic version. Once again, I'm not an Australian attorney. And frankly, that shit wouldn't fly in America. Right, that's why we have a fucking constitution, and there's a reason why we had a lot of those laws repealed early, and we never had requirements. And states said "fuck you," like Florida said "fuck you." We didn't do that stuff. It's because we have a different form of government. I can't assume that on Australia. Also, I've gotten a lot of trouble for implying that Australians want what we have. I think a lot of people don't want the system that we have. They think it's flawed, right? So there's pros and cons. Certainly, one of the pros is the states have a high level of control here. Classy Mom says, JD will be vindicated in Copo, but what about liberal Hollywood? Well, why does he need their vindication? Liberal Hollywood is burning and failing. The failure of Hollywood is coming soon. The death of the movie theater is coming soon. And the growth of the independent film, the movie, Netflix, the rise of straight to consumer, from producer to consumer, bypassing the movie theater, bypassing Hollywood, that is coming soon. Yes.
Burn it to the ground.
Fuck Hollywood.
Metaphorically speaking.
Yes, metaphorically speaking. Yes, not like Office Space burnt to the ground. Can and do jury instructions control the verdict? Says Suki. You have to follow them, but do people deviate from them? Yes, that happens practically. Like real talk, they deviate. Financial consultant says need plastic surgeon, gene, and Hollywood skin experts. Daniel Chapman says, mate, these super chats barely worth the delay, but I love your work. Hey, the thing is, Daniel, I could set a rule where it's like over a certain threshold and I'll read it immediately. I am willing to do that. I may do that in the future. But since I started with this, hey, I'm just reading it in order thing, that's what I've been doing. I'm sorry. It doesn't always work out. But there's two systems you can pick. You can pick order or you can pick value. I'm choosing this to be fair. I may change it, right? I think that's a good point. So if someone wants to say something and you want it to be like on point and you want me to read it right away, I'll say, hey, if it's $20 and up, I'll read it right away to get it in. Otherwise, I'll get to it eventually, Ray Axon says, explain Yonten heating charcoal and Korean tubs short and deep. Yes. Also, the Korean heating system is amazing because the heat, it's like this Ondo system. It comes from underneath the houses, and it's actually historical. They've always done it that way. So the heat is kind of like underneath. The heat is underneath, and it rises through the building. It actually works really well, but it can get the building really hot really quick. Geordies are akin to the UK version of Jersey Shore type folks, aren't they?
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what you have to say.
I mean, no comment.
Nope.
I'm not starting any arguments. I mean, I'm from the south, so I was born in Essex, which is kind of like southeast England or east of England.
Right.
But then I was raised in the Midlands for 18 years, and then I moved back down to Essex when I was 18. So I don't really have an opinion of the north, but I think the Midlands is the best. So
that's a fair opinion. It's where you're from. You're repping your hood. Megan Hunter, Lady Veronica Voronkova says, "Not gonna lie, hoping for a JD win for my birthday." Well, happy birthday, first of all. Appreciate that. Hope you have a lot of fun and when you get a verdict that you want for your birthday. And hopefully something else fun too, whatever you want. King Roman, super sticker, thank you. Amon says, it's 1 a.m., shots all around. Shots later. Shots later. Shots will be had later, I promise you. I promise you. Ian Max says, Mackham is Sunderland, UK, equals 10 miles from Newcastle, UK. Big conflict, especially around football. Okay, I believe it. Alexander Cruz says, you believe the jury will let the rape accusation unanswered? I mean, it's a point of no return. Or she lied about a horrible thing, or the jury will let a maniac free. Well, which maniac are you talking about? I'm sure you're talking about Amber Heard here, right? I'm sure she lied about it, right?
Yeah,
it's definitely a lie. Like, that's unconvincing. I'm sorry. I'm coming out and saying it. Amber Heard is fucking lying about her accusation. It's clear. Everything that she said about it doesn't line up. I'm sorry.
Correct.
It's a fucking lie.
It's a lie.
What happened here, there's nothing wrong with the U.S. justice system. You guys only have a problem with corruption. Everybody has a corruption problem. Name one country that doesn't have corrupt politicians, corrupt administration, corruption in some form of the government. We just happen to be less corrupt than some other countries. That doesn't mean we're not corrupt.
Yes.
Right? Our system is not flawless and subject to no corruption. In fact, systems are built to kind of minimize corruption or like sectionalize it. So like some corruption is fighting other corruption. For example, state corruption is fighting federal corruption, right? So they both have their own levels of corruption, and there's local corruption, and they're all fighting. But that conflict, through that conflict, something good has to come through, right? That's kind of the logic there, is that something is going to come through. Seedban85 says, are there any stupid laws like New South Wales zombie knife laws that ban weapons designated or advertised as intended against fictional characters or mythological creatures? I am not an expert of like random fictional crazy laws, but I'm sure they're out there, and I'm sure we can do a stream on it. Jordy.
Yes.
Everyone is loving your aggressive typing, bro. Everyone is loving it.
Sorry, that's my bad. I'm typing an email to
I know.
one of my clients.
Clearly, you're angry with them, Jordy. Like, clearly, they fucked with you in a way they shouldn't fuck with. But guys, listen, I'm going to wrap it here because court's going to be starting in a second. They're going to be sending the jury out. So what I want to say, Radix Verum, follow her, Jordy. Jordy's got his Twitter out. I'll put that in the description. Thank you much for Jordy. Do you guys have any? Do you guys? What time today? Give me your prediction. What time do you think we get a verdict, or do we get a verdict? First, Christina.
I'm thinking, well, I'm hoping we do. I would say after lunch. I think they're going to do their thing, have their lunch. I'm thinking today. I could be wrong. You know, I thought we were going to get something yesterday, but I'm going to say today after lunch. You know, I can't imagine that these people want to be there that long. But then again, my boy over there might have more questions and notes. He might be wanting to clarify
it's going to strike. It could strike anytime. You never know.
Exactly.
Okay. Jordy, what do you think, man?
I mean, I'm hoping for an afternoon verdict, but I'm also not surprised if we go into like the end of this week, possibly even the beginning of the next week. You got to remember this was a 6-week trial, so whilst we'd all like a quick verdict, if you, God forbid, you've got someone like me on that jury, it's going to go on longer.
Yep, 1,000%. So guys, I think it's going to come. It could come down today, but listen, with the TISM, you never know. Could be tomorrow. Could be Friday. Shit.
TISM
at this
theory.
point. But I will say, the more time passes, the more I do worry for Johnny. That being said, guys, stay out there, stay based. I have several collaborations. Catch me on Midnight's Edge with Tom and Andre. That's going to be at noon. And then I will be on FNF later today. So should be some fun stuff all around. Take care. Stay based. Peace.